Yo, yo, can you guys hear me? What's good, everybody? Antonio, too cool. What's good, everybody? Let me make sure y'all can hear me first. That's always the worst thing. Oh, Kumar in here already? Sheesh. Straw Hat Uzumaki, what's good, bro? What's up? What's up? You can hear? Perfect. All right. All right. Perfect. 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 All right. So I'll just give people a little bit more time, and then we're gonna review. So there's basically a really, really good artist right now on Instagram. Really, really dope artist. I actually reached out to him to make sure I can do this, but a lot of people have been asking him to like do all these anime fusions and stuff. And I had a chance to look at a couple of them, but I want to review these with you guys. Like, talk about, what powers they would have. But I'm not even worried about the fits and all stuff, because the ones I saw, like, they look crazy. They look crazy to me, so. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Ed, you're from Brazil? Man. Yo, that's fire. Shout out to you, Ed. Wow, that's wild. What time is it over there? Yo, Blur Street, what's good, Brody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Samaj, good to see you again, bro. Good to see you. Man. I know this was a very short notice type of stream. But this was something I was sitting on for a little minute, and I was like, you know what? Let me actually try to do this. Rob watched Kingdom. I actually started reading Kingdom, but because I heard the manga is better than the anime, so I did start reading Kingdom. But I don't know. Is the anime still good? Hold on, let me check. Audio is cooked? Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Audio isn't bad? That's okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. I mean, it should be connected to my... Hold on. Oh, here we go. Alright, 1 second.
You fixed it?
It's on my Elgato. Hold on.
Good chat.
Yo, they can't hear you. But it's on my Elgato. So I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what camera is picking from, but oh, you guys can hear? You guys can hear now?
Good. Close it up.
Yeah, Gabe is in the building.
You notice how I touched that shit and it started working? God's gift.
Nah, that's not. You didn't even click anything. I'm with you right now.
That piece is mid.
All right, so you guys can hear? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Just a tiny bit of fan noise, but that's it. Yeah, I know this camera I have doesn't have a heat sink in it, so I gotta run the fan for a little bit. Okay, perfect. My bad if I missed anybody that was saying hello. My bad. Let me catch up here. Hello from Germany. Hello. Dang, y'all worldwide? That's crazy. That's so crazy. But yo, did anybody see Sentenced to Be a Hero, by the way? Did anybody watch that? That first episode was wild. Yo, Curse, that's crazy. Yo, chill. That I don't know what he was doing with that. Curse, I can't even that has to be one of the top 5 craziest moments of the year. Already. Literally already. I didn't watch episode 2 yet. But yeah. The first episode I saw was really, really good. If you guys haven't seen it, like I don't even want to spoil too much, but yeah, Xylo is one of them ones for sure. He definitely is. At least for new gen anime, I would say. Mebel, appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Aaron's in here. Aaron, what's good, bro? What's up? Rach, did you watch ReZero? Yeah, you should watch ReZero. As a matter of fact, I have to catch up on the recent season. I've only seen like half of it, but which is I think season 3 now. Is this season 3 or season 4? But either way, the most recent season, like I'm only like halfway through, so I got to catch up. But yeah, you should definitely watch ReZero. You should definitely. Yeah. What is this extra?
Spencer said turn your alerts on because he donated 5 subs. You didn't say thank you to Spencer.
Wait, what? Wait.
Shout out to Brolic C Pump. He donated 5 subs. Thank you, Brolic C Pump, for the subs. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Brolic. Thank you, Brolic C Pump. It's just Brolic Pump, brother.
Brolic C Pump.
It's just Brolic Pump.
So yeah,
I don't even know where it's not even on here. I don't even know. Is it live on Twitch right now?
Yeah, it's live on Twitch.
Okay.
That's where you donated subs. You didn't donate on.
Okay, that's where I haven't seen. My bad, y'all. I'm trying out multi-streaming, so for some reason I can't see the Twitch chat. So I'm gonna pull it up on my phone.
Just open up. Put your tab right now. I think you can have 2.
Yeah, well, it'll be under the multi-stream, but I don't know why it's not.
No. Oh, but can someone type in Twitch chat real quick just so we can see if the chat is working?
Yeah.
Because he's getting YouTube. He just doesn't see Twitch right now on the.
Yeah, my bad, Brolic Pump, my bad. I literally can't see the Twitch chat right now for some reason, so.
Yeah, the Twitch, there you go.
Okay, now there it is.
All right.
There it is.
We can see both chats. If he misses donates or whatever subs, bother him.
Yeah, definitely bother me, because damn, Rob don't care about his Twitch. Nah, bro, it's not even like, I literally, I'm looking through right now, and I'm like, yo, this is the first. Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Yo, Bulldin, what's good? Yo, shout out Gio, man. Shout out Gio. That's the boy, literally. Okay. All right, so now I see Twitch. I see you on Twitch too. My bad, everybody over at Twitch, man. My fault. Rob, did I read the latest One Piece chapter? Not yet. I actually did not read it yet. So that's like the next thing. The most recent chapter I read was 1170. So definitely got to catch up on that. Sanjinu, Soul Leveling, and Naruto Uzumaki. All right. So the anime fusions, we'll get to those soon. We'll definitely get to those soon. I'm excited to like even just break those down, because some of the fusions like I never would even thought of. Some of them are like, all right, everybody's been talking about that for years, but some of them I was like, yo, what? These characters together? Like, it's kind of wild. But
You're on season 8 of MHA? Yeah, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy it. Curse on Twitch just to bother you twice. Yo, this is wild. Yeah, bro, like, I'm going to read that. Probably once I get off stream, I'm probably going to read that. And then tonight, I think we're all seeing, we're late to the party because I just started watching, believe it or not, I just recently started watching Avatar. So, not Avatar The Last Airbender, by the way. I mean Avatar Blue People, all right? I just recently started watching Avatar, so we're going to watch Fire and Ice tonight in IMAX. Get the full visuals and everything. So Rob, about that top 30. Oh, I mean, we can go to it. I don't know how many people I don't know how many people are in here that are manga caught up. So, but I definitely stand on a lot of things that I said in that recent top 30. I looked at a lot of the comments, and just by the way, just so people know, when I make these videos, yeah, Rob, the comments were frying you in the top 30. Oh yeah, I live for that because it's at least it's a sign to me that I'm not saying things just so people can agree with me. It's like I say things that I truly feel like as I read the story and I watch One Piece. I've been watching One Piece and reading the story for well over 15 years now. So when I look at certain things that are happening in the story now, I kind of have somewhat of an idea of like where certain characters are close to and like where they're going to end up. So even if I don't have certain characters that have, you know, the biggest fan bases in the world, especially the admirals, I don't have them way up in the sky as other people do. I knew what was going to happen. But something that Oda did, and I know a lot of people don't put a lot of emphasis on this panel, but I do personally. Just me reading and watching One Piece for such a long time, is the final 12 panel to me holds more weight than most other people. Like that final 12 holds a lot of weight. It really, really does. It really, really does. All right, Bolden. Thanks for showing love, bro. Thanks for showing love. I appreciate you being here, man. I don't even know why they're not showing up. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure. Okay. All right. Yeah, you should see alerts now too. Maybe. Hopefully. I have no idea what's going on. Hopefully you do see them. Yo, Keon, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Am I fully caught up on One Piece? Yes, absolutely. The comments were out for blood. And I knew it. Samaj, I'm telling you, I knew it. And again, like I said, I don't make these videos for people to, I've never, if you want to go back to even like the first Showdown video, like I never made a video so people can agree with me. I've always just stated my opinion, and my opinion can be wrong, absolutely. But I've always stated my opinion and then wanted to have discussions or, you know, have further dialogue in the comments, or whether it's on a live stream or anything like that. Even with my Discord, you know, I've had conversations with my Discord too. So I've always wanted to have those conversations. Always. Sanji above any admiral is crazy. What I did say in that video is that, see, I don't know if I can go too far into manga, but I just said if Sanji gets that new hockey boost that, you know, is kind of being teased right now, I don't think it's crazy to say. That's where I'll stand. But Kuzan to me, and this is, I'm only going to stick mainly on the anime side of stuff here, but Kuzan to me, his showing against Garp was not the same. I don't see it the same way as most Admiral fans do. Many Admiral fans look at it and say Kuzan got the better of Garp in that scenario because he was obviously holding back because he felt bad about Garp. I did not watch that fight or read that fight and see it the exact same way. As a matter of fact, I saw it as Garp literally looking at his apprentice and trying to save Kobe, but at the same time, he knows that this is somebody that he previously used to train. So he also has that same emotion. I believe they both had emotions in that fight. And I also believe that in order to capture Garp, the rest of the Blackbeard pirates had to jump in the situation. They literally had to jump him. That's the only way Garp got captured. And the funniest thing about it is the next chapter, Kuzan literally was like, we couldn't kill him. Like, I couldn't kill this guy. I literally couldn't do it. Now, of course, you can talk about emotions and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, to me, I think Garp's Galaxy Impact is still a greater attack than I've seen from anything that Kuzan outputted in that fight. 100%. That's where I stand. That's where I stand. So I know Admiral fans are just like, I know y'all got Kuzan all up in the sky. I get it. I get it. And I said that in the video too. I was like, listen, I know people are not gonna agree with me. I know it's gonna be bad, but I just there's only there's selective admirals to me that have a little bit more shine to them than others. I don't just look at admirals and just say, oh, everybody's up. It's kind of like how the Yonko are, right? The Yonko in One Piece have different scaling. Like, of course, like you could say Yonko in general are strong, but then you have your buggy, right? The buggy for the Yonko is probably going to be, Ryukugyu for me, for the admirals. Like, he's going to be the bottom of the barrel for me. So, like, yeah, me not having Green Bull in there, I'm sorry. Green Bull was not looking top 30 to me. He wasn't. Dragon Knight, you read Ueki? Yes. 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 I love it. I love it. Gonna drop this till you read it. Asta, Natsu, and Meliodas versus the big three. Who you got in the 3v3? Okay, so Asta, Natsu, and Meliodas versus Luffy, Naruto, and Ichigo. That is a very, very tough question, Cursed. Cursed, that is a very, very tough question. Dang. I don't even know. Hold on, y'all. I don't even know why the alerts are not showing. I apologize. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but either way though, yes, that 3v3 would be wild because, well, first we have to understand Asta and Natsu working together would kind of be tough. Like, I think Luffy, Naruto, and Ichigo would have better teamwork than Asta, Natsu, and Meliodas, because Asta's main factor is that he counters magic. That's like one of his main things. And working alongside two magic users is going to be kind of tough for him to really like do combos. But I think when you're looking at hacks, power-wise, I'll probably say out of everybody, Ichigo will probably be the strongest out of all 6 characters. Power-wise, there's a good chance for Meliodas to sneak in there. Natsu too. I might still lean more towards Ichigo as well. So I probably would want to lean more towards the original big three. But I think the hardest person to deal with would probably be Natsu or Meliodas. Like those two. Asta, I don't think he's going to work well in that team. There's 2 magic users, and obviously he works with magic users in Black Clover, but like in a team battle against Luffy and Naruto, like and Ichigo, where Luffy can literally just change reality, like I think they're going to need to work together on a higher level, and it might be tough. So I might go with the original 3. That's more of a deeper question though. Like I probably would have to do a whole video on that, honestly. Aaron, 7 months, bro. Thank you so much. Yo, boss man. Hope the year is going great for you so far. Can't wait to see you at one of these cons this year. Stay safe and stay blessed. Yes, Aaron. Yo, Aaron, actually hit me and let me know what cons you're going to, because I want to make sure. Power, did I miss yours? Did I miss your super chat? You know what it might be? Yo, Power, tell me what your super chat said, bro. Because I don't know why my alerts aren't here, and I had to switch the chat over so I can see Twitch. So, oh man, that's crazy. It's got to be today. Yo, this is crazy. Wait, where am I? Well, Power, thank you for the super chat. You said we got to do an anime opening video again, so you can. Well, first off, thank you for the super chat, Power, and I apologize. I don't even know why I'm not seeing this, but yeah, bro, we definitely have to do another anime opening video. Man, it's been that video was what, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. Man, lights couldn't handle the amount of cap in the room. No. Somebody actually made a point that like the fans. All right, so the camera I have doesn't have a heatsink, so I have to keep it cool. So I have the fan running on the camera. It's built in for the cam, but like sometimes it's just not enough. It's just not enough. So I actually might take a quick second to try to fix it real fast, because I think there's a way I can get it more. I can keep it cooler better. But yeah, and the next, I'll probably say 7 minutes. I want to go over these fusions, because these fusions are crazy. Rob, got a question for you. Toji versus Rock Lee tuning exams? Ooh. I have a question for you, Starry. Does Toji have prep time? Does Toji have prep time? Okay, Rob, respectfully, you're insane for some of those rankings. I just saw like what can justify the insane gap between Akainu and Kuzan. What can justify the insane gap between Akainu and Kuzan? Maybe the fact that Kuzan is literally missing limbs as we speak. I think that can justify the gap. I also believe that Akainu becoming Fleet Admiral is an indication of his strength improving after their battle. Of course, it's a political move, but I also think there's strength behind that. I don't think you could just say, yo, Fujitora, join me, if you don't have the power to lead them. I don't. Now, is that a little bit more Akainu headcanon, maybe? Perhaps. But typically when you see these things happen in One Piece, where people move up in rankings, typically it means that they got stronger over time. Typically. It's not always a one-to-one, because we've seen Buggy become a Yonko, but typically that is what it is. Again, if y'all have Kuzan right next to Akainu, have at it. But I think if Akainu were missing limbs too or something like that, I would be like, oh, okay. Maybe you're closer than we thought. But Kuzan clearly got worked a lot more than Akainu did. Clearly. I don't think they were right next to each other. I don't. At the time they fought, because they fought for 10 days, at the time they fought, they were much closer in power. But I think after that, with Kuzan losing limbs, right? And then, again, Akainu becoming Fleet Admiral, I think that was the separation for me. Just for me. Just for me. You have a question. Rank these animes from top 1 to top 3. Black Clover, My Hero, and Hunter x Hunter. So I gotta go Hunter x Hunter first. Then I would probably want to go. Honestly, I'll probably go Hunter x Hunter, Black Clover, then My Hero. That's my personal opinion. But I'm so glad you put Mihawk top 4, even though I think he's stronger than Shanks. Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah. Like I said, I never thought Mihawk was weak. I just always believed Shanks was stronger. That's always just been my opinion. But I never thought Mihawk was weak at all. Of course, for the memes, You gotta slander Mihawk a little bit for the memes. But in reality, when you're really trying to do like an honest ranking, it's like, yeah, they gotta be relative to each other. Okay. Hopefully my camera does not turn off on me again. You might want to make a stream or video talking about the top 30 because people have so many questions. Yeah, I mean, I thought I laid out a lot of, and I was going through the comments earlier, and like a lot of people were saying how could you possibly put this character here? And I'm like, in the video, I thought I stated like exactly why, because I knew which comics were coming. Like I said, I've been in the One Piece community for a very, very long time. So I knew which comics were coming, which is why I said, I know some of you guys might not agree with this, or you guys might feel some certain way about this, but let me tell you why I think this character can still beat this other character. So I thought I laid it out pretty well. And when I was going to comments, I was like, some of the comments completely ignored like my reasoning and was just like, why did you say this? And I'm like, I said that in the video though. I'm like, I literally said, you guys are probably going to say this, but this is what it is. This is why I think this is the reason why I believe this. Because I can understand why other people think certain things, but when it's my turn to say why I think this way, it's like, oh, I'm crazy. I'm like, like there's one comment, I kid you not. There was one comment that was like, it was crazy. They were like, Rob, I really hope like you were crazy. I don't know if I can say it on stream, but they're like, I really hope you were like went crazy before you did this list because nothing justifies what you're talking about. But then in the same breath, they were like, yo, the Gorosei are legitimately like Zoro victims. And I'm like, the Gorosei are Zoro victims. They are Zoro victims. I'm like, Zoro was on Egghead. The Gorosei were on Egghead. What made... Again, this is why... I literally, I'm like, I can't understand. I'm getting paragraphs telling me that I have no idea what I'm talking about. But the Zoro victims none of the Zoro victims got packed up by Zoro. None of this... Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, y'all are making it seem like, oh my gosh, man, I'm crashing. The hockey is too much, man. The hockey is too much on the camera right now. The hockey is too much, man. This is crazy. All right. All right. That was a sign for me to calm down. That was a sign for me to calm down. So we're going to go into these fusions. Because, yeah, people don't listen. You had your reasons. Yeah, again, and nobody, I don't want people to just agree or disagree. That's fine. But, like, I'm like, yo, bro. People are literally, I'm like, you guys are calling me crazy. And I'm like, some of you guys are saying crazier stuff to me. I'm like, Gorosei are Zoro victims. Which Gorosei lost to Zoro? It was literally Joy Boy is the one that saved everybody in Egghead. The Gorosei were literally not unstoppable. That was the whole point. That was Oda's whole thing. That the Gorosei are so powerful, they're unstoppable, that the Joy Boy Haki Knot was needed to I don't know. I don't see it that way. So I'll take the backlash for it for now, for sure. But Loki slander after reading 1171 is top. The Loki slander. Okay, so let me address the Loki thing real quickly, and then I want to go into these anime fusions. So the Loki thing for me was, I'm pretty sure I said this in the video, that I said Loki could potentially be top 5 based on what we've seen. The only reason why I had to put Loki I want to say what rank did I give him? I think I gave him rank 12. I think I gave Loki rank 12. I said the only reason why I had to give Loki rank 12 was because Shamrock exists. And if you guys remember, Shamrock was a character that literally pulled up on Loki. Dang, I'm tripping. This is manga stuff. This is manga stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop there. But let's go into these anime fusions. All right. I overestimate Dragon. Oh man, we're never gonna get to these fusions. We're never gonna get to these fusions. I overestimate Dragon. There's a chance. I don't think so, but there's a chance. I think people have to realize that similar to what Rox was trying to accomplish is something that Dragon is trying to accomplish in a way of not that, you know, Rox was wants to be the king of the world and Dragon wants to, you know, free the world. Obviously, those goals are different, but they both had a common enemy in Imu. So that's why for me, based on what Dragon's trying to accomplish and the upscale that we see from Sabo and the rest of the Revolutionary Army, I think Dragon knows how powerful the world government are, which is why Dragon literally said, my goal is to take down the Holy Knights. He literally is not focused. And this is why I talk about this so many times, because the Admiral fans hate me for this. They hate me for this. But Dragon literally is like, yo, I'm not even worried about the Marines. The world government is the real issue. And he's a former Marine saying that the Holy Knights are a bigger issue. They're a bigger task to handle. They are the actual people that need to be defeated. He's not saying, oh, I got to take down Kizaru, because he knows he already knows that Kizaru and Kuzan and all that stuff, they answer to somebody else. Dragon's aware of this. So for me, I feel like narratively, right? Because we haven't seen anything on screen, but narratively, Dragon and the Revolutionary Army are essentially cooked if they can't contend at a high level with the world government. They essentially are cooked and they should just stop now. And I feel like Dragon is a character that was so serious about taking down the world government that he would do the training to get there. That's my belief. But again, it's based on narrative and not on-screen feats. So if you are somebody that says, yo, Rob, you're crazy for having Dragon this high, I understand it, because we haven't seen anything on screen. But this is all narrative. The Sabo point didn't make sense. Rox only has a Susi defense. Sabo got saved by an old man. So Lady Luck was yo. See, you and I will never agree on this point, because when I saw that attack, I did not see him getting saved by an old man. The Cobra got hit and Sabo got hit. Again, it was a transformed Imu. Like, I don't know. I really don't know where else to say about this. Like, I feel like there's any other fandom, like if you get attacked or you endure an attack from one of the big bads in the verse, everybody would. Oh, it was crazy because the same thing happened with Zoro with the Conquest of the Seas. Right? Big Mom and Kaido did a combo attack. Zoro endured the attack, and all the Zoro fans said it was a Zoro upscale. Every single one. There was not one Zoro fan that didn't say that was a Zoro upscale. But if Sabo endures an attack from the number one character right now, the number one big bad in the series, it doesn't count. I literally cannot, and I said this in the video too, I cannot understand that. Like, the math isn't mathing. The math is the math. Kaido. I think I had Kaido at like 11. Or no. Where did I have Kaido? I know he's in the teens, but yeah, Kaido not being in top 10. Gorsei agenda strong, man. Gorsei agenda strong. I don't know. Warcree looked like a bigger threat. 100%. Warcree looked like a bigger threat. I had him at 13. Okay. Yeah. Because right now, I think it's not crazy to say Loki can box with Kaido. I don't think that's crazy. Keep it a bug, Rob. Do you think Blackbeard is actually beating Kaido? I don't have Blackbeard over Kaido. Yeah, I don't have Blackbeard over Kaido. Or do you mean Ben Beckman, who I also don't have over? Who do you mean? Senku, I actually do have a Discord server. I do. It's literally just Shonen Showdown. It should be in the description of this live stream, hopefully. I think it is. Solid list. Are you tired of the Mihawk Glazers? I'm not necessarily tired of the Mihawk Glazers because I get it. Everybody wants to root for their favorite characters, like as do I. I like rooting for my favorite characters too. My only issue with the Mihawk glaze is a lack of consistency in how they rank Mihawk, right? And I'm not saying I'm perfect either. There's certain characters that, maybe I miss on, right? But when it comes to Mihawk, I feel like the lack of consistency lies in when you're looking at Mihawk, right? A lot of the Mihawk fans say he's the greatest of all time because he has the title, right? 100%, he has a title. Well, it was also never confirmed that he beat Shanks on paper, ever. It was never confirmed that. And then also, if you want to look at statements, right? Oda stated that Flower Blade Vista had swordsmanship relative to Mihawk. So he literally says his swordsmanship rivals Mihawk. Stated. My issue is that certain statements hold more weight than other statements. And that's the lack of consistency. That's a lack of consistency to me, which is why I have an issue with Mihawk fans on certain topics. It's because you take this title and say this title is law. This is the most important thing in the series. He's the world's strongest swordsman. Everybody that holds a sword is weaker. But when a character that Oda says had relative swordsmanship, it's like, oh, he's nowhere near Mihawk. It's either you move Vista up, or you can do what, more the Shanks people do, right? And that's making a separation between your skill as a swordsman and your skill in hockey. Now, I've talked about this so many times, but I think hockey and swordsmanship are not a direct one-to-one. They don't equal each other. I don't think if you're a hockey beast, you could just pick up a sword and all of a sudden you could box a Mihawk or something like that. I think there's a difference in your swordsmanship and in your hockey. The closest thing that we have right now is that the way of the sword in Wano was connected to Ryowo. That's the closest thing. It doesn't say anything about observation. Doesn't say anything about conquerors. Yeah, you can, if you want, you can tie ACOC to it. But again, that's not the end all be all. When you're looking at other operations of conquerors, right? I think there are other characters that have had greater conquerors. We don't even know if Mihawk has conquerors. We assume he does because he trained Zoro and Zoro has it. So we're assuming he does. I hope he does. But it's not even confirmed that he has conquerors. So again, I think he is the greatest at swordsmanship. When you're talking about hockey, I don't think he's the best. I don't. So that's always just been my thing. Doesn't mean he's weak, though. That's why I have him in my top 5. But I can't get him to that Shanks level. We have not seen an all-out Mihawk. I mean, yeah, you can say that for many characters. We haven't seen an all-out dragon. We haven't seen an all-out whatever. Like, there's so many characters that we have not seen go all out. But there's a lot of times where Mihawk has been on screen and he's had opportunities to prove his strength, and it didn't pan out the way we thought it would. So that's why it's kind of like, I don't know. Then, if he's not the world's strongest swordsman, do you think Oda is going to ruin Zoro's dream? So I actually, it's funny you say that, I have, because I actually talked about this a lot too. I believe Mihawk is the best at swordsmanship. So Zoro is chasing swordsmanship. So I don't think it would ruin Zoro's dream. But I feel like there are swordsmen in the series that don't have the swordsmanship skill level as Mihawk, but they have better hockey. They have better conquerors. They have better observation. And that will offset the difference. Shanks will be an example of one of them. So that's where I'm at. I would even say that for maybe even Rox and Roger, personally. I know there's Mihawk fans that have Mihawk over Rox. Based on everything I've seen at God Valley, I can't go there. I'm not there. Maybe later on. He's the world's strongest swordsman, not the world's most skilled swordsman, is what you're saying. There are panels that literally say he has better sword skills than Red Hair. Like, there are panels that actually translate to talking about sword skills. So they make that distinction for a reason. That's what I believe, personally. That's what I believe. Remember, titles in One Piece is wild, because Whitebeard had his title, World's Strongest Man. Kaido had his title, World's Strongest Creature. Everybody's getting all these titles, but what does that really mean? Like, we have to actually see you in action. We have to see you doing what you say you can do. Right now, I'm giving Mihawk the benefit of the doubt by saying that he has he's the most skilled swordsman of the sea. Like, right? Because again, if you want to say he's the world's strongest swordsman, show me where he defeated Shanks. It's never been stated. You can search SBS's, Vivre cards. We'll be here till next week. It's never been stated. Never been stated. Dang. You guys have so many questions. I wanted to go to the fusion, but you're gonna turn those good fans into haters if you continue this dragon positivity. Listen, if me thinking that dragon is strong makes haters, then it is what it is. Listen, I gotta stay true. I gotta stay true. All right, redemption with the 2, man. All right, so I'm thinking I'm here. I can finally peep what the alerts are going on. Redemption, thank you so much with the 2. We can only rank them by confirmed feats, in my opinion. I disagree with you, though, Redemption. I do. I disagree with you. I don't think you can only rank based off feats, because characters that we haven't seen, like, for instance, before we saw the Joy Boy hockey knot, I already knew that Joy Boy was elite. Like, you don't need to see a character fight, especially in One Piece. You don't need to see a character fight to know they are strong. The only issue is the extent of their strength is the tough part, right? But to know that they are strong, it literally, me looking at Dragon saying he's the world's most wanted man is not, it clearly should be an indication to some of his strength. Of course, it has to do with his knowledge, but his strength has to tie into that. You're not going to be the world's strongest man and be fodder. You know, like, that's where I'm kind of like, some of narrative scaling does matter. It does matter. You forgot the stream wasn't about the list. I know this stream wasn't about the list, but so how do you not have Kuzan in there? Okay. I spoke about this earlier, And Kuzan was a character that I thought about very, very tough. But when I went down to my 25 to 30 range, here's the thing. I've always had respect for the old generation. This is kind of what made my list a little bit tougher to deal with, because a lot of One Piece fans, especially newer One Piece fans that came after, like 2020 and stuff, a lot of newer One Piece fans hold more stock into the new generation and don't really care for the old guard. They don't care about the Rayleighs or the Scopper-Gabons or anything like that. I'm a person that thinks they can still contend in today's era. Not at the highest level, but they can still hold their own. And when I look at that, my top 30 is going to look different than many other people's top 30s, because people like Rayleigh are still going to they're still going to find a slot in there. People like Scopper-Gabon, people like Shiki, right? Because we know Shiki's still alive. People like old Garp, right? Old Sengoku. So when I'm looking at those characters and we know the level of hockey they had to reach and the level of hockey that they have access to, it was confirmed that they had to fight Holy Knights and all this other stuff later in the back in the day. Their hockey control needed to be at a higher level, 100%. It's literally confirmed in order to fight characters of that magnitude. When you're looking at characters like, when you're looking at, Kuzan, for instance, there's no indication that he's achieved this level of hockey control. Whereas there's other characters where we can give more credence to them, right? And when I'm looking at them and I'm looking at these characters, I'm saying, I think Kuzan's strong. I definitely do. But I don't see the Garp situation the same way as you guys do. I do not. I've said that many, many times, so I knew that. But even that Garp situation doesn't mean that, okay, maybe we move Kuzan out of the top 30, right? But what kind of did it for me was when I was looking at the other old characters, and I'm understanding that Gabon has a higher understanding of hockey, right? That means Rayleigh must have it, 100%. They were all on the Roger Pirates, and they knew what was going on. Sengoku, who was confirmed to be relative to Garp, must have access to that, something like that. Shiki, who was on God Valley, he's still alive, right? Ben Beckman was confirmed to be 1B to Shanks' 1A. It's not like Shanks is number 1 and Ben Beckman's 2. They literally say Shanks is the sun, Ben Beckman's the moon. It's 1A, 1B. That's literally what they say about Ben Beckman. And when you keep going further and further down the list, you're like, damn, wait a minute. I hit 30 already and Kuzan's not here. And you're like, wait. Unless you have the newer generation smacking all the old guys that are still alive, then Kuzan should easily make it to your top, 20, top 10, whatever you have. I just respect the old generation a little bit more because of the hockey they had to reach. That's why. That's why for me. So I know people are, it's not a popular opinion. I say this before I even hit record, like, and I was making my list, I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, they're going to be mad about this. And then I record the video. As I was recording the video, I said, I know you guys aren't going to agree here. But I can't just look at that and say the sun is way bigger than the moon, gang. I'm talking about what was stated in the SBS. In the SBS, they literally said Shanks is the sun, Ben Beckman is the moon, Shanks is 1A, Ben Beckman is 1B. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. If you do not believe me, look it up what it says about Ben Beckman. But the Admirals don't have Conqueror's hockey. They don't deserve the lower spot. The only thing I didn't... So... It seems like the older generation is way stronger, like incomparably stronger when they were in their prime. And this is... And Mike, what you're saying, it looks like we are in the minority, by the way. We are in the minority by saying this. By saying the older generation, because of their experience and the level of hockey they had to achieve back in their primes, we are in the minority. Most people think that like Akainu's top 1, Kuzan's top 3, Kizaru's top 5, like And that's because they have more stock in the new gen. And I'm saying the new gen is getting there. Some people have already approved that, oh, you got that hockey right now. You just need to control it or whatever. And some characters have not achieved that level yet. So that's where I think that the old dogs can still be in the mix. I still think Rayleigh, even if he's 85, can still get busy. Garp, how old was Garp when he did Galaxy Impact? Like, what are we... Yo, like, I have... Even Kizaru on Egghead. Kizaru on Egghead was not doing Galaxy Impact level... He wasn't. He literally wasn't. He literally was not doing that. So that's why I feel like there's some admirals where it's like, you're close. You're close. You're very, very close, but I don't have you here. I don't have you here. Old gen gets too much gas. They were hella strong, but everyone puts old gen peaks above new gen peaks for some reason. I think, and there's no way, in no way am I trying to disrespect what you're saying, Lucian, by the way. But I think when you see a panel of Scopper Gaban literally tell Zoro and Luffy, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Your hockey, you're not even controlling your hockey the right way. What are you doing? When you're seeing Scopper Gaban talking to Shanks, young Shanks, and saying, hey, this is the way you do this against the Holy Knights, because we've had to deal with this. It's to me, that's Oda basically telling us that, like, hey, the newer generation still has a lot to learn. They're getting stronger, but they have a lot to learn. And if I'm seeing the old dogs do stuff that the new gen still doesn't know how to do, and those people are beating some of the admirals, then yeah, it's going to make me drop the admirals off. It's going to make me drop the admirals off. Luffy not even knowing this technique and not even using ACOC was doing, is boxing with admirals. So yeah. Eagles, man, thank you so much. Thank you. 7 months, man. I appreciate you, man. Just showing love to my favorite anime creator. You're definitely the most creative YouTuber I've seen. Although having Dragon Knight #2 was a disgrace. Eagles, man. First off, I just want to say I thank you, man. I thank you, and I know that having Dragon Knight 2 was gonna rub people the wrong way. But if I see a character that's trying to accomplish something that Rox was, I think it would be very unwise of me to discount them. That's where I stand on that one. But I appreciate you for 7 months. Thank you so much. Seriously. Curse saying, quick, get to the fusions. W Dragon hate, we all respect you. Okay. All right. So we're going to get to the fusions now. All right. Maybe after we're done with the fusions, if you guys want to revisit the top 30, we could definitely do that. But yeah, I knew we were going to definitely touch on this for sure, but I didn't know we were going to go for this long. So my fault, y'all. But let's get into the fusions. Oh, I also fixed the fan on my camera a little bit here, so hopefully the camera doesn't shut off. But if it does shut off, just give me 30 seconds or something like that, and we'll keep going. All right. So let's look at some anime fusions from Sir Strokes on Instagram. The link is in the description, by the way, if you want to check out his artwork. It's ridiculous. All right, let's go to the first one. Yo, if I stay on these comments, y'all, we'll never get to. We can talk about the top 30 all day. We can really talk about it all day. All right, so let's start these anime fan made fusions. Yo, cursed is wild. All right, so hold on, let me move chat here a little bit. All right. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. So the first one we have, right? We have a Vegeta and Zoro fusion. So this is clearly, the right-hand man fusion. Popular side character fusion. Yeah, I'm seeing. So Sir Strokes mentioned Zogeta or Vegoro as names. I don't even know what we would call them, but let's see how it looks. Bam. Yo, the fit is crazy. I don't think there's going to be one rough design. I think all the designs are going to be fire. D4G, what's good, man? What's good? Yeah, this is fire. The design is fire. Now, I think maybe the best way we do this is we figure out what he would do. I think the best way we do this is we try to figure out what this character would do in the One Piece verse and what they would do in the Dragon Ball verse. Like, how much is this helping Vegeta in the Dragon Ball verse, and how much is this helping Zoro in the One Piece verse? Now, obviously, in the One Piece verse, this is destruction, right? This is destruction. Any DBZ character in the One Piece verse, and automatic, everybody's gone, planet's blown up. But if we go to DBZ, how much is this? Mainly looks like a One Piece character, not gonna lie. I guess the top half. Yeah, the top half looks more One Piece. You see more Zoro in there, but then the bottom half, I feel like Vegeta still got a little, you know? Yeah, One Piece verse is cooked. Vegeta's going crazy. But if you look into the Dragon Ball verse, how much is this helping Vegeta? Because I love Zoro. All right, I already know most One Piece fans are Zoro fans, so we already know what it is. But what is Zoro really contributing to Vegeta in the Dragon Ball verse? Vegeta being a swordsman could do something. Like, could it? Like, it's obviously gonna make him stronger, but like, it's gonna be like a blip. Like, it's really not gonna, you know. Because Zoro right now can't even really control his haki. So Vegeta's going to have to try to figure out how to add that on. But the haki that Zoro has can do what to a DBZ character? You know what I'm saying? It makes him look cooler, for sure. He looks cool. But in the DBZ verse, I don't think this helps Vegeta that much. Most DBZ is just fists. Yeah, haki doesn't really help that much. I mean, haki does, Jack. So haki does help, but there's only certain aspects of it, right? Like, I don't think... I'm trying to think of like a version of haki that can help. Conquerors for sure, but I think I would probably give more hype to observation haki. Like, if you could look into the future while you fight somebody, I think that's great for DBZ, right? So that would probably be Zoro's biggest addition to this fusion, is observation. That would probably be his biggest. Vegeta has a lot of willpower. He will have greater haki if we think. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we put them in the One Piece verse, for sure, Vegeta's going crazy. I'm just thinking about taking Zoro's powers to the DBZ verse. It's not doing a lot. He's gonna have swords, but like, Vegeta's really gonna have to carry. Zoro doesn't have observation? I think he does, but I don't know if he has future sight. I don't think he has future sight, but he does have observation. So I'm just saying, observation is like his biggest thing that's gonna help. That's all I'm saying. Not future sight, because I don't think he has it. But yeah, observation you're moving at a certain speed, it's about your physical speed. Yeah, absolutely. So I think for the One Piece verse, this is like an A+. He's gonna kill it in the One Piece verse. In DBZ, he's gonna stay about the same. Vegeta's gonna stay about the same. Future Sight relies on you to be calm. Vegeta is always angry. That's true. Zoro with armament can dice fools like Trunks dice Frieza. I mean, Vegeta would definitely be able to pack up Frieza. He definitely would. Rob off topic, but I think a lot of people forget what Luffy was doing to Kaido in base only. Yeah. I 100% agree. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. All right. It's time. It's time. Naruto and Ichigo fusion. And it's a Potara earrings fusion. So another one. I low-key wish we got the fusion dance with these two. That would be hilarious. But we have a big three fusion here. Oh, wait. My fault, Curse. What did you say, Curse? This should be stronger just via the inherent fusion. Hold on 1 second. Dang, I already closed out of it, but I was going to show it again. It's all right. They should be stronger just via the inherent fusion multiplier, but he'd probably lose to Beerus or Black Frieza, even if he can use Ultra Ego. Yeah, I agree with that. That's for Zogeta. I think that's the name they gave him. I agree with that, though. For sure. All right. So now we are back on the Naruto Ichigo fusion. Let's see. Let's see how it looks. Bam. Woo! The aura is crazy. The aura is crazy. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This fits fire. Now he does look more bleach. There's a little bit more of bleach in the design than Naruto, but I'm with it. This one has to be called Naruichi. So I'm seeing, so he mentioned Narugo or Ichito. Ichigo instantly becomes soft by fusing with Naruto, so he gets weaker. That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. Now, what is this doing for Naruto in the Naruto verse? Well, having the addition of Ichigo's powers. Yeah, I mean, Naruto is already top one, basically. Not actually top one if we go into Boruto and all that, but he's still very, very close. And having Ichigo's powers is literally broken. I don't like this. This helps Naruto, by the way, just so we go into, because we'll talk about what this does for the Bleach verse as well. But this fusion helps Naruto so much more than it helps Ichigo, because Ichigo literally has his hand in every single like power system in Bleach. If you need Quincy powers, I got you. You need Soul Reaper powers, I got you. You need Hollow powers, I got you. You need Fullbringer, I got you. Like, Naruto will literally have access to everything. He can literally make this form right here, this fusion can literally make shadow clones and use different power systems for each shadow clone. Like, you could have like a Quincy version and like a Hollow version. Like, it would be nasty. It would be nasty in the Naruto verse, man. I don't know about that. Ichigo more stats than hacks, while Naruto gives him so many powers. I think Naruto will give Ichigo a bigger power reserve. He will have more energy to use, but I think Ichigo is bringing multiple different power systems that Naruto didn't have access to prior. Like, it would be bad. It would be bad for sure. So yeah, he would solo the Naruto verse 100%, no questions asked. if we go to Bleach now, let's go to Bleach with this fusion, right? Is Naruto soloing Bleach? I want to see what you guys say about this. Is Naruto soloing Bleach? He already is almost there. Factual. He is still Ichigo kinda, so yes. No, he's not, and we all know it. Okay, so we have a little bit of back and forth here. Yeah, Ichigo is up there right now. But I don't know if he can do it by himself. So this Naruto edition will definitely help him out. Bleach has too many hacks. Oh, Baryon Bankai? Ooh! That sounds nasty. That sounds nasty. I'm trying to think here because Bleach, like some of you guys are saying, I think the Naruto verse is packed with this fusion. But the Bleach verse has a lot of different hacks. They really, really do. Maka, thank you so much for the 2. Thank you. If Soul King or Yubak is there, then no. Yeah, so you're kind of around the same. You're kind of around the same thought process as me. Rob, we needed both Aizen and Ichigo for Yubak and Aizen. Hold on, Curse, I got you. Naruto's already close to the peak of his verse, so he would easily be top 1 in Naruto Boruto. It doesn't really help Ichigo much because of Aizen and Yubak, who are basically unkillable, even if he's stronger. Yeah, so we're having the same thought process, essentially. Yeah, we're having the same thought process, essentially, is that, like, this helps Naruto more than it helps Ichigo. But it would still help. But yeah, this fusion in Naruto verse would go crazy. In Bleach, there's still a couple of characters, Aizen and Yubak, the Soul King, right? That would kind of make this. I don't know if it's enough to solo. He uses Talk no Jutsu on White. Oh my gosh. Yo, that's a good point. He would just talk to Zangetsu or the Ichigo's Hollow or anything and just have the conversation. Naruto would definitely be able to do that. He wouldn't need Nimaya to help him out or anything like that. So yeah, overall, this is a great fusion. But it helps the Naruto verse out a lot more. I think that's the way we're gonna do this, right? For the remaining ones, because I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have 7 more fusions to review. So the way we're gonna do that is we're going to review these characters and their abilities and see which verse it helps more. All right. He basically already talked to Zangetsu. Yeah, with Nimaya. Yeah, I'm assuming he was talking about before that happens, but yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right. This one is much closer. Maka with the 2. Thank you again. Do you think he'll beat Yamamoto? That Naruto Ichigo fusion, I do. Because he can go Kurama Chakra mode on top of the other abilities. So I do think he would be able to beat Yamamoto. But it will be very, very tough. D4G, thank you so much for the super. Thank you. But yeah, definitely leave a message. Okay, so we have this Deku and Itadori fusion. Now the names, I'll talk about the names when we slide over, but Deku would clap Yuji. Rest in peace, both verses outside of Gojo because of Infinity. Well, I mean, we can't go into it. I know. So Rob, careful. Mention manga spoilers for JJK. Yes, I know. I'll make that known. Because JJK I have read, and obviously My Hero just ended. But just be a little careful, y'all. Not everybody is caught up on the JJK manga. Now let's look at this fusion. Bam. Bam. What do we think of the fit, y'all? What do we think of the fit? Now the name. So I'm seeing Isuji, like, because we know it's Izuku Midoriya, so Isuji or Yuzuku. Those are the current names right now. Those are the current names right now. Still a street tier bum? Oh my god. Is Black Flash United States of Smash Moon level? I don't know. Now I'm seeing somebody already. Eagles, I already see you're mentioning this helps Yuji more. We can talk about it because now, and one of the comments here is actually hilarious. It says, one for all 100% Black Flashes. Imagine if Deku is able to use Black Flashes on top of the one for all. My goodness. Now we have to talk about, does this help My Hero Academia? Or I should say, does this character perform better in My Hero Academia? Or does this character perform better in JJK? So I'm seeing some people say, yeah, definitely helps Yuji more. Rob, Black Flash is human level. It affects the soul, not anything else. But I mean, that's who's in the My Hero verse. Oh, everybody is saying JJK. Deku already almost solos his verse. Okay. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm really not mad at that at all. Like, I think the Black Flashes would be fun to watch on top of One for All in My Hero Academia. But again, Deku is already one of the most versatile heroes in My Hero Academia. Like, he literally has multiple different quirks. He had multiple different quirks, I should say, if we're taking their strongest forms. So it's yeah. You guys already said it, but in JJK, without going into spoilers, Yuji would love to have this power boost. All I'm going to say is Yuji would love to have this power boost. Oh my goodness. Oh, imagine that final fight with, you can use Black Whip with Fajin, Gear Shift. Oh my goodness. Danger Sense. Oh my, Danger Sense. Imagine Yuji has Danger Sense in that final battle. Man. Yeah, Deku is def carrying Itadori. Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. We agree here. Okay, so Yuzuku or Isuji is definitely helping Yuji a lot more than it is helping Deku. Still, overall, great design, great fusion. Let's go on to the next one. Uh-oh. Madara and Sukuna. You have Sukuna here saying, let's show them the true power. Madara, these fools won't stand a chance. Which fools are we talking about, Madara? We need to know. All right. I have saying Madara is carrying Sukuna. Talk about it. But JJK verse is cooked. Helps Sukuna way more, not even close. Yo. Madara was already ridiculous in the war, right? But if you're giving Madara access to Sukuna's domain, the Shinobi Alliance, for the most part, outside of like the Hokage and like the former Hokage and stuff like whatever, but the Shinobi Alliance is packed up probably even faster. The thing is, and I just want to get this off, right? Sukuna would definitely benefit more with Madara's abilities in the verse. 100%. 100%. But I think Madara, because he's an Uchiha, because he has access to the Rasengan, because he has access to the Rinnegan and the Sharingan, would be able to even draw more of Sukuna's powers out. I think he would do an even better job. Yo, Rob, imagine world cutting slash with Susanoo. Yeah, I mean, I think Madara would be able to look at Sukuna's abilities, right? And be like, yo, I could use, like you said, the world cutting slash and everything, but the domain here with like this is going into the JJK manga a little bit, so I'm gonna chill. But Sukuna, basically, for the anime only people out there, you know that Sukuna is a mastermind in the JJK verse. I think Madara is even a step above that in terms of battle IQ. I really, really do. Like, Madara is a literal genius. So he would take Sukuna's abilities and maximize them. Like, it's tough to say really what he would do without spoiling y'all, but yeah. So, as Curse is saying here, this obviously solos JJK 100%, absolutely. But I question for Naruto. This definitely solo Shippuden, but I question against top tiers in Boruto. Yeah. If we go into Boruto, this is not doing a damn thing. If we stay in Shippuden, it's over. It's over. The only person that at that point that would be able to stop Madara is probably, or this fusion, because they didn't give a name for this fusion, by the way. So I don't even know what we would call him. I don't even know what we'll call this fusion. This Madara Sukuna fusion. I don't even know who would be able. I mean, my guy would still be a problem just because Taijutsu is a counter to Senjutsu. So my guy would still be a problem for people that are saying 10 Tails Madara out there. Like, my guy would still be an issue. But he would lose 100%. Like, it would be a worse loss, but he would still have to deal with my guy. DMS Kakashi. Oh. Kaguya. Yeah, Kaguya for sure. Like, Kaguya, Black Zetsu, those two will still have, they'll still reign supreme. They will still reign supreme. DMS Kakashi. I think because Kaguya could really just, like, as powerful as Madara would be with this Sukuna edition, Kaguya can essentially just switch the dimension. So even if you're in the range of Sukuna's domain, again, there's ways to stop domains in JJK, as we've seen on multiple different scenarios. And there's ways in the manga that I can't go into here without spoiling you guys. But yeah, Kaguya is going to be outside of that domain. Naruto and Sasuke cook in a duo, yeah. In a duo, for sure. The thing is, we didn't even talk about the Limbo clones, unless somebody mentioned it in chat and I missed it. Oh, did I not show the... Oh, my fault, y'all. I didn't even show the fusion. My fault. I didn't even show you guys a fusion. My fault. But this is the fusion. This is the design. No, it's not Ten Tails Madara. It's not Ten Tails Madara. Yeah, this fusion looks cold though, man. My goodness. I'm just thinking, like, if you're in the JJK verse and you see this, it's a wrap. Like, at this point, it's over with. It's done. You had a good game. That's it. Yeah, you guys are right. So, because it's not Ten Tails Madara, he can't use Limbo clones. He can't. You're right. But yeah, this design looks crazy. So, I mean, we already kind of did the breakdown on this character already. So, we can move on to the next one. More eyes equals better genjutsu. Yo, more eyes. Actually, Lucian, right? More eyes equals... Well, these have the Renegon in them, but if you want to use a Sharingan, which Madara also has access to, that means you have Izanagi and Izanami as well. So you could use those moves twice and still have 2 eyes. Crazy work. All right, let's move on to the next one. Future Gohan and Shanks? This one I never would have thought of. I never would have thought of this at all. Judgment, yeah, bro. Absolutely, yeah. I had to look into this. I had to look into this even more. Would they have 2 arms? I mean, they both have 1, so they should if you put the arms together. D4G with the super chat. Thank you. What's your expectations for season 3 JJK? Big fan. Thank you so much. My expectations for season 3 of JJK. Well, I mean, I read the manga. But after seeing how they hyped up Naoya Zenin, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the rest of the season. Like, they made Naoya Zenin look so cold in the anime. Like, it's like, yo, I'm here for it. I just want to see Yuta go crazy in the calling games. Like, I'm ready. I think they got to do a little bit better breaking down the calling games, though. I mean, that they showed that so fast on screen for like 2 seconds. I was like, nah, this is crazy. Rob's favorite characters fused into one. Yo, talk about it. I had this really. He didn't even know this was for me, but this was for me for real. Because I'm a big Gohan fan. I'm a big Shanks fan. I never would have thought to put them together, though. Yo, curse Shahan. Yo, Shahan. That's tough. I know some people named Shahan. That's mad funny. Wow. All right, let's look at the design. Yo. Of course, this helps Shanks more, by the way. This helps Shanks more. But yeah. Now, I'm questioning. It doesn't look like he has the other arm, though. It looks like... yeah, it looks like the other arm is out of there. So he just has 1 arm still. Gohan is trash. Michael. What? What you mean? Gohan, Beast Gohan. I mean, this is future Gohan, but technically Beast Gohan, future Gohan too. But let's stop. All right. Is this helping future Gohan? Gohan ain't getting from this. Gohan ain't getting ish from this. Wow. So Gohan's not getting future sight? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, this helps Shanks obviously way more than it helps Gohan. But future Gohan with future sight. Cinema. Man, oh man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, Hashira podcast in here, man. Shout out Date Ryan Sama, man. Chris Breezy's best friend was courtside with Steph. I literally have screenshots. Shout out to you, bro. Hell nah, Gohan ain't beating androids still with this. With future sight? 1 second future sight? Did we see what Shanks saw when it came to Captain Kid? That was more than 1 second. That was with the Captain Kid scenario, that was like 15 seconds of future sight. Really, it felt like a minute, but that's too much hype. It was really like 15 seconds of future sight. Future sight is a bigger boost than Gear 4 speed, by the way. Factual. Do we have to bring in the multipliers with the fusion as well? I mean, technically, yes, but again, because they are such different scales, it's like it's already tough to kind of do. Gohan might blitz. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you get Shanks level future sight, that's going to be so tough for the androids. That really is going to be tough for the androids. I really think Gohan will get a really, really good boost. Kurt saying, just via Patara fusion, this is probably stronger than Super Saiyan Gohan in base, even if Shanks adds nothing in terms of power. So he might beat the androids in base, but still probably loses to Cell in Super Saiyan. That's valid. That's valid. I like I said, I think he can beat the androids with this, though. Outside of the Conqueror's Haki and stuff, but like Shanks has the ability to kill other people's observation, right? So like, let's say this version, let's say Shahan, for instance, is able to disrupt, the android sensory capabilities. Like, that's major. That's major. Especially because they basically jumped to Gohan. So D4G, thank you so much, man. Seriously, that really means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, so Shahan for sure is one of them ones, man. This is probably one of my favorite ones because it's two of my favorite characters. I still have some others, but that name is terrible. Call him what? Call him Goinks? Goinks? I don't even, I think Shahan might be the one. When you think about it, Beast Gohan with future sight changes everything because he would know exactly how to handle situations without having to figure it out. He's def packing the droids up. Now let's get one thing clear though. This is future Gohan, right? This is future Gohan. So I don't know if we can necessarily say he's gonna have Beast Gohan at max power, maybe, but like, who's this a fusion of? Yeah, Beast Gohan and Shanks. But yes, even with that being said, I think he's packing the droids up too. I really, really do. Now, let's move on to the next one. Gojo and Kakashi. Kakashi. So you have Gojo saying, So, what do you say, Kakashi? Why not? Together. Now, we already know why this fusion was going to happen. These characters have always been compared to each other because of the masks and the white hair and all this stuff. We knew it was going to happen. Who does this help more, though? Who does this help more? This is really broken for both verses. Like, this is probably the first fusion we have where it's like both sides are benefiting the same, in my opinion. Look at the fusion. Look at the aura. Full mask. Full mask is so extra. Like, the full mask is so extra. Oh my, but you gotta, you knew they had to aura farm. This character has to aura farm, man. Hollow purple Kamui shurikens. My lord. Are you kidding me? Gokashi or Kakajo? Rob Juice? I think Gokashi, for sure. Gokashi makes me feel a little bit better. 6-eye Sharingan. That's what I'm... This literally would help both sides, like, equally. Because if you think about it, because you guys are already naming some of the abilities, right? And I don't know if we can say Kakashi would technically have DMS here. But imagine you have 6 eyes and then Sharingan. My goodness. Like, because Gojo already has Limitless. Like, you already could not touch this character. You could not touch this character. Plus, they can heal with reverse curse technique on top of that. Then you have Hollow Purple. You have Blue Red. Kamui. Oh my goodness, man. This version... Oh, so someone's saying this version versus the Sukuna Madara fusion. I would love that fight. I would love that fight. Who do I have? If it's confirmed it's DMS Kakashi, I'm gonna go with this fusion. If it's regular Kakashi, it's tough. But I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like Gojo and Kakashi's abilities work better together than even Madara and Sukuna's. Like, Madara and Sukuna will be able to figure out a way to make their abilities work, but they don't mesh as well. Gojo and Kakashi's abilities literally, it's just visual prowess, both top tier. You have Gojo's domain expansion, plus Kakashi using the Kamui dimension. So it's like they both like have similar abilities that they would be able to use and max out. If it's not DMS, he probably still loses to 6 pass tier characters. If it is DMS, he solos Shippuden, but questionable against Boruto. To 6 bad characters. Probably. It just depends because the domain, I don't know, probably. I just think like domain expansion, like infinity is just, it's devastating for most characters because it's more of a mental thing. There's another page? Oh, wait, what? There's another page? Hold on. Wait, is there any more? So we have Gojo and Luffy here. Luffy saying, your hair is pure white. That's so cool, but I could do that too. And then Luffy saying, wanna see? Gojo, sure. This one's a little weird. And then Luffy bringing out the Gear 5. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting another page. Oh, we're getting some manga here? Yo, shout out Sir Strokes, man. We're getting a whole manga in here, for real. Oh, and this is just more stuff. Okay, so this is another thing. Keep going, we gotta see it all. So I think it's just some of the other stuff. Yeah, it was the other fusions. All right, who's next? I'm glad you asked, Ethan. I'm glad you asked. Bam. Now, this is already something that we've seen already. So this is just a cool, different design of Goku and Vegeta. This is just a different design of Goku and Vegeta. So let's just see. This one will strictly just talk about the design. Interesting. It's just a different design. So this one is strictly just a design. AI Vegito? No, this is not AI. This is not AI. This is not AI. But someone said that hairline though. Yeah, I mean it's a different rendition of Vegito, basically. So, but we already know the power level. The hairline is insane. Yo. Oh my goodness. So let's say go back. Yeah. Okay, so that one's just a design, but we can move on to the next one. I don't even remember what the next one is. Let's see what the next one is. Woo! Wait. So is this... Goku and Luffy fused? Or is this just Luffy and Goku close? There is one for Luffy and Goku. Is this the next one I have? No, that's not the next one I have. Is there actually? Hold on. 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can find the one. I'm gonna see if I can find the one for Luffy and Goku real fast. Because if there is, that would be wild. Oh, I see it. I see it, y'all. I see it. Here we go. Hold on. I didn't look at the design yet. I just saw this. Hey, King AP. Shout out to you. Ed said, thank you so much. Thank you. Xeno getting packed up. Lock and Rob, use your observation. Okay, so we're here. So this is the official Goku Luffy fusion. All right, I didn't look at the design yet at all. We know it's obviously going to help Luffy a lot more than Goku. We absolutely know. Woo! I actually really like this design. I like this design. MUI Gear 5? Goodness. MUI Gear 5. Yo, what? Oh my goodness. This would just be oh my goodness, man. I don't even know. How do you even fight against that? Like, that's just I think it's more fun to see, like, this Goku Luffy fusion. So I see two names here, Gofi or Luku. I don't know which one I'll go with, but with this Goku Luffy fusion, solo DBZ, or at least even improve, because we already know this solo's One Piece, no question. But how would this fusion do in DBZ? I will say, I think this fusion helps Goku more than the Vegeta Zoro fusion. Like, because with Gear 5, that means every single punch that this character lands on another character in DBZ, their body is literally going to change. Like, the Toon Force being applied here would definitely change a lot. It would change a lot. Nah, he wouldn't be able to solo. He's still getting clapped. Okay, that's valid. I mean, of course, Omni King, Grand Zeno, Grand Priest, of course. Whis, out of there. Out of there. Of course. But he's definitely beating the Gods of Destruction. But all of them are too fast. Okay. So it's more of a speed thing. Remember, Luffy does have access to Future Sight, by the way, too. So imagine, you could use Future Sight plus Ultra Instinct on top of this. Yeah. This fusion would be a fun thing to watch, too. This fusion would be a fun thing to watch. Does the Scar upscale Sakazuki? Oh my goodness. Yeah, but Goku too slow for the Angels with his MUI. Yeah, he is. Even with Future Sight, you're right. Rob, let's be honest. Future Sight is not nearly enough to get blitzed by DBZ characters. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's valid. Beerus will win somehow? He always does? Beerus against this? Imagine. Again, MUI. Gear 5. Beerus is probably stronger than Black Frieza, so he'd probably still lose. Maybe. I just think Beerus fighting, because Goku can fight Beerus. Goku can fight Beerus in MUI. He would lose, but he can fight against him. But Beerus always has plot rob. Yeah. I mean, because yes, he'll have Future Sight. This fusion will have Future Sight, but as people have been stating, like DBZ characters speed-wise, they're so fast that Future Sight wouldn't even be a main factor in this. I think Goku being able to see a few seconds in the future, I think it does change a lot in DBZ. But there's obviously still going to be characters where it's like, that's insignificant because you still can't damage me, right? If you're like a Whis or a Grand Priest. But at the same time, like, if it's against Beerus, you know, the Gear 5, yeah, Gear 5 will be annoying. That's what I'm saying. The Gear 5 will be annoying. Beerus has anti-gag abilities, Rob. Dang. Are you mentioning the Aurelia episode? What about Hakai? Ooh, we didn't even talk about Hakai. We didn't talk about Hakai. What about Emu? Yeah, Emu is getting packed. This is Goku. There's not even, the planet's getting blown up. It's done. Yeah, Hakai would be on top of it. Yeah. It'll be nasty. It'll be nasty. Yo, Aaron Creates, man. What's good, bro? What's good? What's good? Let's go on to the last. I think we have one more fusion here. We have one more fusion. Okay. Yuta and Benimaru? Huh? I never would have thought about this. Never. Yo, I love your draft content. Thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I got more on the way for sure. Yeah, Yuta and Benimaru is such a random fusion, but I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. So you have Yuta here saying, I don't plan on holding back. Benimaru says, neither do I. Fusion, let's see the design, and then we could talk about which verse they will perform better in. Are you going to more cons this year? I will be going to cons this year. I got to figure out which ones, but I know definitely it's going to be Anime Expo and New York Comic Con for sure. Those are already locked in. All right, let's look at this fusion. Ooh! Y'all see it? This design is also fire. This design is also fire. Domain expansion. 100-fold cremation, the final judgment. My goodness. Benimaru can now bypass Gojo Infinity because he got a domain now. And listen. Oh, Utamaru or Benita. Utamaru is good. Yeah, peak design, absolutely. This design's tough. For me, we're forgetting. Will Yuta have Rika in this? Because if this fusion also can use Rika, oh my goodness. Good eats. Good eats. Benimaru's already almost top. Yeah. I think which verses does help out more? This fusion might kill Rika off with his aura. Yo, the heat would be nasty. The heat would be nasty. Yeah. Samaj saying it helps JJK more. It helps JJK more. If you read Modudo, you will know that Rika confused with the user. Ooh. Okay, I haven't read that. I know about it. I haven't read it yet, though. I heard it was a different story though. I didn't even know it was still in the JJK verse. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because Benimaru is one of the strongest characters in Fire Force, I can see this helping JJK more. But Yuta is also going to give a lot of help to Benimaru too. Rob, you gotta be careful as a guy who didn't read. Okay, I'll chill out. Thank you. I'll chill out. But yeah, both verses would be nice. This will be an upgrade. But yeah, I think this fusion right here, Utamaru, as somebody said in chat, yeah, Utamaru is definitely going to be going crazy in JJK. Going crazy. Yeah, Yuta has ridiculous hacks. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The only help I can see Yuta giving is reverse curse technique and copy. Okay. But all right. There's more I want to say about this character, but we'll go into the manga, so we'll go into the manga. All right, so what was your favorite fusion so far, or out of all of them? For me, I think design-wise, the Gojo Kakashi one had like ridiculous aura. Gotta be the Sukuna Madara one. Oh, yeah, that one was tough too. I think a 10 Tails version of that would be even more fire, to be honest. Gokashi, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gokashi, yeah, everyone's saying Gojo and Kakashi. Yeah, we all have the same thing. We all have the same. Like, that one was wild. That design was crazy. Primera Espada, yes, I will be coming to Anime Expo 2026. So, oh, you want to do a Bleach draft? Say less. I'll have everything with me. Yeah, overall good fusions, man. Again, follow Sir.Strokes on Instagram. All of his designs are ridiculous. His artwork is crazy. Really, really good. Rob, are you gonna do debating with fans? What did you want to debate? Rob, I just thought of something. Anos and Sanjinu. Ooh, Anos and Sanjinu fusion. Sheesh. I was working for the cons last year and didn't know you were there. Which con? We gonna debate that top 30 still? Listen, I'm down. If people still want to talk more about that top 30, we can continue talking about that top 30 for a little bit. NY and Anime Expo. Yeah, I was at both. New York Comic Con and Anime Expo. I was at both. Normally I'm kind of just like walking around until I find a spot that I want to set up, the draft boards and stuff. So I don't know where I'm going to be posted up this year, though. But normally it's like kind of in those bigger, like if it's New York Comic Con, because that's in the Javits, it's probably going to be in like the bigger hallway. When you first walk in, you go to the right and you go down those stairs. It's over there. Anime Expo really just can be anywhere. Like, obviously you have like the main lobby area. But, a lot of cosplayers are also doing photo shoots and stuff. So it's hard to like set up there. So it really could be anywhere at Anime Expo. People still want the smoke. I know, man. I'm with it though. Like, disrespecting my GOAT Kuzan. Man. like I said, I rock with Kuzan. I do. I rock with Kuzan, man. It's just I respect the old characters a lot. I really, really do. Adult Go and Deku fusion? That's where it was. Primera Espada, that's where it was. Cause I'm like, yo, your username looks so familiar. That's where it was. TwitchCon, yes. Yeah, that first day, yeah, they didn't let me get that stuff, bring it in. Later on, though, it was, I think they let me bring it in later on, but yeah, that first day, I couldn't bring that stuff with me. You don't rock with Kuzan enough? I mean, based on most of the responses I got, a lot of people were saying, like, how do you have Kuzan so much lower than Akainu? And like I was saying earlier before in the stream, because not only did Kuzan lose to Akainu and take significant damage because he literally is missing limbs from fighting Akainu, but like like Akainu becoming Fleet Admiral and appointing Fujitora and unfortunately Green Bull makes me believe that he's gotten stronger. So I know maybe some people may think that, Akainu didn't get stronger after the fight with Kuzan. I don't think so. I don't think you reach Fleet Admiral position unless you improve in strength. Because to lead, like, you got to think about it. Like, Sengoku was a previous Fleet Admiral, right? Like, you have to be of significant power to reach that. So that's why I feel like, as strong as I think Kuzan is, he took a significant battle damage from Akainu. Like, it was, I think his whole leg is gone and other stuff. Like, and if you look at the damage he did to Akainu has a couple battle scars and he's good? Nah, bro. Nah. Now, if he packed up old Garp, the conversation's different. And I feel like that's where the Admiral fans and I split, is that the Admiral fans look at the fight between Kuzan and old Garp and say that Kuzan is stronger than Garp. Because I've seen that. I will never be there because I feel like there's multiple instances where Kuzan not only had to, he needed the help of other Blackbeard pirates to literally capture Garp, but at the same time, Kuzan in the next chapter literally says, we could not kill Garp. Like, we tried and he won't stay down. Like, we can't kill him. They literally said we can't kill him. Old Garp is basically what old Roger would be. He just doesn't have the same clout. And you know what's funny about that, Lucian? You know what's funny about that? If there was an old Roger on the seas, people would be glazing him. People would be glazing him. If Roger were still alive, people would glaze Roger. I stand on that. But for some reason, when it comes to old Garp, anybody could just beat old Garp because he's old. It's really crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Missing limbs, type advantage, ice is weaker than magma, etc. So Kuzan is at a disadvantage. Plus, Akainu literally survived against Whitebeard, who was trying to kill him. Talk about it. Talk about it. By the way, did I go over the Naruto Ichigo fusion? Yes, we did. That was earlier. We did do that. That was earlier. God Valley really raised Garp stocks. Yeah, man. That's what I've been standing on. And that's why I feel like, even though Garp got older, I don't think it's right for anybody to just be like, yeah, he's old, so like, you know, anybody could just beat him. You know, like, like it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. If I were able to just pull panels on screen, I would do that too, but I can't, you know. But yeah, man, I mean, Kuzan literally said we couldn't kill Garp. And then people are still like, yeah, Garp's stronger. I mean, Kuzan's stronger than Garp. I just, you know. Rob, you think Luffy's gonna 1v1 Emu or jump him? I'm of the belief currently that Luffy will have to jump Emu. I think people are going to have to jump Emu. Like, it's because, and it's only really because of Domi Reversi. It really only is because of Domi Reversi, man. Domi Reversi is such a cheap ability. And like, if you have to worry about people around you switching and flipping, like, you're going to need help to fight against Emu. Like, you know, it's really, really tough. You're going to have to jump him. Yeah, Blackbeard, Loki, and Luffy versus Emu. Don't listen, Ethan. You got to put Dragon in there. I think Dragon's going to be pivotal. He's going to be critical against Emu. I think Kuzan said that because he doesn't want Garp to die. Perhaps. But again, this is a situation where if Kuzan were saying that, right, just because he doesn't want Garp to die, I think also in their fight, Garp and Kuzan, Garp also had emotions towards Kuzan. And a lot of people look at it and say, oh, Kuzan felt bad about fighting Garp, so Kuzan was holding back. But then ignore that Garp was the one that literally trained Kuzan. Like, I just, like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're going to say somebody else was holding back because they felt bad about fighting somebody they were formerly friends with and ignore the other person that's also in the friendship, like, Garp didn't care that he was fighting Kuzan, but Kuzan cared that he was fighting Garp. It's just like, come on, bro. Come on. They both cared. They both cared that they were fighting each other. That's... Garp is a monster. He does not give a damn about the past. If that were true, I think Garp wouldn't even... Sengoku, as a matter of fact, wouldn't even be able to stop Garp from killing Akainu in Marineford. Or at least clashing him. Right? Because some people still believe that Marineford Akainu would have beat old Garp. On what hockey feats? I didn't see them. But Garp still has relationships, whether it's because of political stances or it's because of friendships that he's made in the Marines. Based on stuff we've seen in the manga, like, Garp literally cares about protecting the Marines. He says this all the time. So I think, but Garp saw through Kuzan's hesitation. He even called it out. Yes, I'm not saying Kuzan did not have feelings towards Garp, but I'm saying Garp also felt certain things about Kuzan. I think there's even stuff in the anime where it shows Garp's face and how sad he was after he was attacking Kuzan. Like, he felt sad. There was sadness in him that he had to fight against somebody he used to train. I don't think Garp went there, saw Kuzan, and was fully bloodlusted. You know? I really don't think so. Luffy versus Hashirama. That's like a video. There's a lot of powers of Hashirama you'd have to go through. Okay, so Samaj, you're saying I just have Samaj, you said I just have Kuzan stronger than you because for me, Kuzan is stronger than Fujitora, Zoro, and right next to Luffy. Yeah, I can't. I'm not there. Respectfully, I'm cool with it though. Because most most people that have Kuzan up in the sky, it's more so, they're comparing a Kainu and Kuzan, and if you have a Kainu up there, then Kuzan has to be somewhere close to where a Kainu is. So I get it. I think Fujitora would be Kuzan. Just the devil fruit advantage would be nasty. Fujitora has some of the best observation haki in One Piece. Literally in One Piece. And the fact that he will be able to just summon meteors down and change directions of gravity, like Fujitora, to me is a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse for sure. I got a lot of headcanon. How so? I definitely have some headcanon. But I think, and here's what I'll say. I think most people, right? I think most people dislike my takes on some power scaling stuff in One Piece because there are feats, or I should even just say, I'll just say there are actions that happen in One Piece that, for me as a viewer and a reader, hold more weight than for other people. Like when I see a Scopper Gaban saying, "Oh, your haki is not on this level. You need to figure out how to do this." To me, scenes like that hold weight. For other people, it's like, "Oh, cool. You still suck though. Another guy can beat you." Like for me, I'm like, "Whew, you know something that I don't. It means you have more experience. I'm gonna give you a little bit more bonus points." That's how I see certain things in One Piece. So like, there are certain feats like, or even characters that have pulled off certain things where I will give them a plus, where other people will say those moments were insignificant. That's where I feel like we clash and bump heads. Michael, you said it's impossible to power scale. It's so funny you say that. Yo, it is so funny you say that because I literally made a video called Why Power Scaling One Piece is Impossible. Basically, I literally talked about it in the video. It's so funny because the only reason why I made this list, by the way, is that people were asking, they're like, "Rob, everybody else did their top 30. You got to give your top 30. And I saw the comments like so many times and I was like, if I make this top 30, I already know what I'm going to have to deal with. I know what it's going to be. I'm like, whatever. Because I'm not changing my opinion just so like people agree with me. So I'm like, if I hop on stream or I make a video on my top 30, it's gonna be nasty. But I was like, I saw the comment too many times. I was like, all right, I'll put it out there. But I was like, I knew what was coming. So Lucia said, most of the list is valid. I just think you disrespected those admirals and Loki and gassed the elders. So yeah, the only admirals I didn't have were in my top 30 were Kuzan and Green Bull. And those are the two admirals that I think are probably towards the lower side. Kuzan was trained by Big G, aka Garp, the man with the craziest haki. Yeah. 100%. 100%. but he lost Suikainu, lost limbs, and jumped Garp to capture him. Remember, Kuzan did not beat old Garp, and that's why I have to talk about it all the time. Garp used Blue Hole and was tossing Kuzan like it was crazy. And then Shiryu had to go in and stab Garp from behind. I had said most of the list was not valid. Fujitora is a better revolutionary than Sabo. He freed slaves, took the blame in Dressrosa, and Garling didn't do anything because he's trash. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So Garling is trash because he got scarred, or not even scarred, but because he lost against Rocks? Is Rocks not like a top 5 character of all time in One Piece? He's literally a top 5 character. I don't understand. I like how you literally gave multiple reasonable examples of why you left Kuzan off and people are still molding. Yeah, I mean, because I get it. You know, people have their favorite characters, so I understand. I understand it. I just feel like I gave my reasons as to why, and you don't have to agree with my reasons, but like I did give reasons. Like I wasn't just out here like, oh, I got this character here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, that's it. Like even for Loki, I talked about Loki and I said Loki is a character that realistically, based on recent things that we've seen, could potentially be top 5. The only reason, and I'll say it on live stream here again, just so people hear me again. The only reason I had Loki outside of my top 10, right? He was still close to it. I think I had Loki at 12. The only reason I had Loki outside of my top 10 was because Shamrock, when he pulled up on Loki, he literally said, yo, Loki, I could take the chains off you right now and you would still get smoked by me. And for me, I'm like, wait a minute. We don't know yet. Shamrock said this. We don't know yet. If I put Loki above Shamrock, then that means I'm just assuming that Shamrock is stupid and has no idea what he's talking about. Has no idea about how powerful Loki is. And he's just talking to talk. And I don't want to assume that. I don't want to assume that. So that's why for me, I'm like, I gave Shamrock the benefit of the doubt. But I said, unless we see something from Shamrock that says, hey, you're tough, but you're not Loki tough, then I'll switch it later on. The list is fluid. The list is fluid. That's all. And I feel like I said that. I literally said that in the video. I was like, Loki could be top 5, but because Shamrock is here and Shamrock said he could beat him, right now I'm going to give Shamrock the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. That's literally what I said in the video. And people were like, yo, you crazy for putting Loki so low. I'm like, so you're assuming that Shamrock literally said that and he said it for no reason? Shamrock just said, oh, I could free you right now, Loki, and you will still get smoked, but I'm lying. Like, what do you want me to say? I'm just saying, like, what do y'all want me to say for that? This list is how it is with the information you have at the moment. 100%. With the information I have at the moment, that's how I have it. No, Garling is trash because he hasn't done anything. And now people questioning his boys because of him. But Garling is a character that was in God Valley and he had to clash against one of the strongest characters in the history of One Piece. Now, if we were looking at God Valley, right? And let's say a young Kaido, or not even a young, let's say like, all right, you know what? Let's just stick with a young Kaido. Let's say a young Kaido slashes up Garling like that, right? And Garling is like bleeding and he's struggling to get up and all that stuff. Fair, 100% fair. I would say you guys, you're right. I overestimated Garling. But y'all are looking at Garling fight one of the strongest characters in the history of One Piece. And you're saying, dang, Garling, you couldn't hang in there? It's rocks. Am I tripping? If I'm tripping, I'll say I'm tripping. But it was rocks. Like, that's so tough. That's so tough. Ethan, you said Shamrock over Loki. See, Ethan, you're not allowed to say that. Ethan, you're not allowed to say that on the internet. If you say that on the internet, you will be vilified, bro. You can't say that on the internet, man. You can't. I'll say it. Let me be the the guinea pig, man. But you're not allowed to say that. Because the Loki stocks right now are climbing crazy because of the recent chapters. So I understand, but like, come on. We gotta give a little bit here. Like, you're calling him trash because he kills good celestial dragons, but not Fujitora, who is directly about to. Oh, so you're talking about his character? Yeah, Garling is evil. Yeah. My list was all about power. It had nothing to do with character at all. I love Fujitora more than Garling. If that's what you're saying, FIB saying, yeah, but he wasn't brave enough to clash with Kuzan, but he clashed with Fuji. All right, I'm missing that one here. What was that? Respectfully, I do want to know your rebuttal for the fact that Dofi wasn't scared of Fuji, but he was of Kuzan. For me, I think more so like, because again, Fujitora is a newly instated admiral. I think Fujitora definitely showed better feats with the meteors and everything that was coming down. Now, again, I did also state that like Fujitora teaming up with Doflamingo to take down Law and that situation did not pan out the greatest way was a clear sign that Fujitora has to show us more. So I get that. But for me also, the way Fujitora talked to Akainu on the phone or on the Denden Mushi makes me believe that he has some power to rival that of Akainu. And again, this is the stronger version of Akainu, right? I'm just letting you know my thought process. You do not have to agree. I'm not trying to get you to agree. I'm explaining my thought process. Akainu at Fleet Admiral, right? I have Akainu moved up because he became a Fleet Admiral. Fujitora was talking to that Fleet Admiral Akainu on a level where he looked like he could rival him. The way he was challenging his statements, it made it look like he could rival him. Not be him, rival him. So for me, I kind of saw that like, yo, you're talking to Akainu and challenging him like this. This may be another Kuzan, scenario where you end up fighting Akainu, but this is a stronger version than the one that Kuzan fought. You're fighting a stronger Akainu than the one that Kuzan fought. So that's the narrative portion. Now, if we go into the on-screen feats, Fujitora can call down meteors and change directions. Remember, he was not obviously going all out against Luffy. He literally was holding the rubble up of Dressrosa while fighting Luffy, by the way. While fighting Luffy, coming off of fighting Sabo. Fujitora, for holding back in most of Dressrosa, had a great showing. He had a great showing. Obviously, he wasn't trying to do all the evil stuff there, but he had a great showing. So those are the reasons why I give Fujitora a little bit more grace over Kuzan. Granted, your point about Doflamingo being more afraid of Kuzan in that instance, right? And that was I believe that was pre-Dressrosa. That was at the end of Punk Hazard, I believe, that scenario where Kuzan pulled up on Dofi, if I remember correctly. Even if that were the case back then, I think it was more so their relationships are different. because Doflamingo was a former warlord. So he's had the ability to see what Kuzan was capable of, especially on Marineford, and was like, dang, Kuzan is strong. Remember, I didn't have Doflamingo in my top 30. So Kuzan packing up Doflamingo, I'm with that all the way. But we're talking about Fujitora, a character that Doflamingo didn't see yet. That's what I have. That's the reason. Ethan said Fuji got more in his bag than Ice by Kuzan. I feel like he has more in his bag. I feel like there's more for him. Check Discord. I sent some DBS fusions. Oh, y'all want to go back to the fusions? Hold on. Also, if you guys are in the Discord, I believe AIM, aka Power, we call him Power, but AIM is actually doing a stream tonight, or an event. I don't know if it's gonna be streamed. It's an event though. So if y'all want to support, show love, definitely pull up. It's anime dubs. So that's gonna be a good time. Oh wait, which one is this one? Okay, yeah, we went over these already. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking at the anime fusions in my Discord real fast. These ones. All right, so for these ones, I might react to these in a different stream. Just because they're not the artist's one, and I want to dedicate the fusions that we just went over strictly for the artist. So, yo, Rob, remember when they were saying Dofi could beat Sabo? The Sabo disrespect is some of the nastiest, like, I can't, all right. I guess I'm going there. Sabo, I think, is the character where he's the character where you can see how people's power scaling is in the series. If you just base their opinion on Sabo, because it really tells you everything. If you think Sabo is strong, that means you give more credit to certain types of feats versus if you think Sabo is weak. That means, so I feel like Sabo is the baseline. Like, he's like the indication of like, all right, if you think Sabo is weak and he's not in your top 30, I know which characters are going to be in your top 30. If you have Sabo in your top 30, I know which characters will not be there. But yeah, Sabo to me, I feel like gets disrespected so much. And there's a couple people out there that support Sabo, but yeah, I'm always down to take heat for supporting Sabo, man. I'm always down for it. Again, we could look at, let me pull up the Oda. I mean, I'm probably not going to show you guys on screen, but Oda had, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't show this on stream. But either way, I think Sabo is one of them ones, man. I don't like Sabo, but that's real, yeah. I still think Kuzan's over Fujitora since the 10-day battle showcased us how close Kuzan and Akainu are. So to put Fuji above Kuzan to me is like Fuji equals Admiral Akainu. Again, because, FIB, this is to you, right? Because Fujitora was talking back to Akainu, it made, and again, it's how I read and see One Piece, because we've seen situations like this before. You don't talk to somebody in a certain way unless you think you can get busy and box with them. He was challenging Akainu on the Denden Mushi, right? I think that was an indication that Fujitora believes that if worst comes to worst, and it's time to box, he thinks he can hang with Akainu. It gave me that impression. Again, One Piece is a lot of One Piece is reading in between the lines. So this is obviously what we call headcanon. There's a lot of like reading in between the lines. But there's so many instances where we see characters talking to certain characters a certain way. And it's like, you don't do this. It's kind of like the Shamrock line. When Shamrock went to Loki and said, I could free you right now. I can literally free you right now. and you will still get bodied by me. We take those things as, you know, as a threat, as a challenge. And you don't get to challenge characters that you mentally believe are stronger than you. You mentally believe you can't hang with. Now, this is not me saying Fujitora is stronger than Akainu. What this means is that I think Fujitora can rival Akainu, and the Akainu I believe Fujitora can rival is a stronger version of Akainu than the Akainu that Kuzan fought. I know it sounds crazy, so I'm going to repeat it again. The version of Akainu that I believe Fujitora can rival, which is Fleet Admiral Akainu, I have him here, is stronger than the version that Kuzan fought. So the Akainu that Kuzan fought, I have like right here, and the version that Fujitora was talking to Akainu, I have him here. So that's why if you start off a baseline and say Fujitora, Kuzan, like is like this too. That's my reasoning. Speculation, all speculation, 100% speculation. Most top 30s, all top 30s are going to be speculation because there's a lot in One Piece that we do not know, right? And that's why I love talking about One Piece, because there's a lot that we do not know. There's a lot that we'll have different opinions on. So these conversations, these lists are for that purpose, to be like, you think this? Why do you think this? Because I see it this way, right? The only thing I don't like is like if I'm giving you my reasoning and people are like not even trying to hear the reasoning, they're just like, I can't believe you did this, and I'm like, I explained why. Now, if you disagree with my reasoning and you state something that counters it, that's totally different. That's totally different. But I mean, somebody saying I'm crazy and then literally calling the Gorosei Zoro victims. If I ask you guys, which Gorosei member did Zoro defeat? Everybody would have to say nobody. There was not one Gorosei member that Zoro could defeat. Not one. Not one. It's clear Kuzan is the more important character. He will be stronger. I hope so. If I'm wrong about Kuzan, I'm not mad about it. Right? I'm not mad about it. But again, I think Fujitora versus Kuzan is not a black and white conversation. More people tend to lean more towards Kuzan because we've had Kuzan longer, right? We've been around Kuzan much more. We've known him more as a character. So more people love Kuzan than they love Fujitora. But I don't think just because Kuzan's been around in One Piece longer, that automatically means that Fujitora can't box with him. I don't. And I do think the Akainu that Fujitora was talking to is stronger. This is crazy.
Your mail, sir.
What is...
Here's your mail, sir.
This is crazy. Dude, don't stop. I don't know what's wrong with Kumar. I have no idea what's wrong with Kumar. Kuzan was getting bodied by old garp. See, D4G, you not allowed to say this. You're not allowed to say this. I said this, and I'm literally getting killed. Right? If you look at the comments of that video, I'm getting killed by the Kuzan fans. I'm getting killed. Based on actual feats, Kuzan over Fuji. Not gonna lie. Again, I'm not mad at that either, though. I'm not mad at that either. Celestial Dragon. Don't listen to Kumar. Bet. Headcanon narrative debate. End of series. Blackbeard versus Emu. I think Blackbeard will fight against Emu, but I think he's going to need help. So I think he's going to need help. Whether that's Luffy and Dragon, somehow they're going to have to work together. Like, I don't think Blackbeard is going to 1v1 solo. So FIB, you said, but I think that's just how Fuji's character is. Just like Cruz and Blackbeard would talk back to Blackbeard. If we go back, because talking back to Blackbeard is different. Not saying his crewmates don't talk back to him, because people even talk back, like Zoro has, talked back to Luffy too, right? But Fujitora was more so like challenging. Like he was challenging Akainu's like ideologies. Like even Akainu was on the phone. He was on the phone hot. He was so pissed about the way Fujitora was talking to him, And Fujitora was like, all right, you know what? Like, it looked like Fujitora was like, he was ready to go there. And he was like, I'm going to save myself the time. But it's already like, I feel like Oda doesn't do stuff like that for no reason. And maybe it's just me reading too much into it. But Zen Studios, you have Kuzan over Kaido? Okay. Zen Studios. Can I get your opinion on why, like, can I get your breakdown on why you think Kuzan is stronger than Kaido? Because these are more the comments I'm seeing in the comment section of people really have the admirals so high, and I'm trying to understand for myself. Really. Dark Dog is a GOAT. Hey Rob, what's up? I posted a community tab on my channel to show you some love for your channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Samaj saying Kuzan over Kaido is nasty work. But bro, listen, that's what I'm saying about One Piece. Like, somebody will call me crazy, and then they will say something like that will make me be like, whoa, like you think that? But it's more so like I want to hear why. Like, why do you think that? Like, I'm not gonna say like, yo, like, obviously the comments that come from me, it's fine, but I genuinely like want to know, because I've watched One Piece. I've watched multiple arcs over and over, especially Marineford. I've seen Marineford like 10 times. Of course, my camera froze, but I'm still here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right. Can you guys see me? My fault. I'm here, though. Nah, we not sitting with that. I don't know. That face was crazy. My fault. Okay, so Zen Studios, we have your response here. Okay, Akainu is a fleet admiral in the era that Marines are the strongest they have ever been. So I got Akainu relative to Prime Garp / Sengoku, and I have Aokiji relative to Akainu. This is why I say the One Piece top 30 is really going to look different for everybody. It's going to look different for everybody. Because where you have the admirals is going to change your whole thing. It's literally going to change your whole thing. Rob, do you got current Luffy or Kuzan? Current Luffy, to me, is bodying Kuzan right now. Bodying. Like, it would be... if we're getting the Gear 5, the ACOC, and he's really working, he's smoking Kuzan. And that's not a disrespect to Kuzan, by the way. I think Kuzan is strong. He fought old Garp. Yeah, I think he's strong. But I think Luffy is on a completely different level right now. I really, really do. Now, for me, right? Okay, he couldn't body Kuzan. I mean, oh, no, you're saying, oh, he couldn't body Kizaru? Well, first off, let's find out. Who do you have higher? Do you have Kizaru higher or do you have Kuzan higher? Because this will change everything. Amir Joe, you're saying it already. Luffy was nerfed on Egghead. Everybody remembers Kizaru giving Luffy food, but doesn't remember the Luffy nerf. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is in One Piece power scaling, man. That's really how it is. Okay, so y'all have okay, see, all right, so there's not a direct. So some of you guys have Kuzan over Kizaru, and some of you guys have Kizaru over Kuzan. So that's the thing. Exactly what you guys are saying. Your answers right here is exactly the dilemma I have, right? If you have Kizaru over Kuzan, then the whole thing is different. Like where you're gonna place Luffy and everything, it's gonna be different. If you have Kuzan over Kizaru, then your Luffy placement is gonna be lower, right? Kizaru over Kuzan, your Luffy placement is gonna be higher. So for me, all the narrative is pushing Kuzan to beat Kizaru. Kuzan over Zoro and Sanji. Most said Kuzan. Let's be honest. I literally see, because I can scroll up. I see Kizaru here. 1. I see Kainu, then Kizaru, then Kuzan. That's 2. Kizaru got it though. That's 3. To like, if I look at the Kuzans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 to 3. There's 5 to 3. You said most? Yeah. I know. I'm just double checking. So it's like 5 to 3. Admiral's still tough to rank to this day. Max homies, that's where I am. I think the Admirals are really, really tough to rank. They are really, really tough to rank. Because Kuzan over Kaido sounds crazy to me. Kuzan over Kaido sounds crazy to me. But a lot of Admiral fans think that way. That's why, really, most of the people that hate my list are Admiral fans. It really has just been Admiral fans in my comments going crazy. But the Yonko fans are kind of like, solid list. Disagreements here and there, but, we move. The Admiral fans are like, this is the worst list I've ever seen. And I'm like, why do you think this list is bad? Oh, because Kuzan's not top 3. I'm like, If I can speak as to why I don't think the Admirals are the end-all be-alls, because I do think that the Holy Knights and the Gorosei have a bigger, I would say just a bigger impact on the story overall. I think that there's certain characters that their conqueror's haki is literally so overwhelming that there's not that many characters that could really contend with them at all. And if we look at Rocks and the fight with Roger and Garp versus Rocks, the one thing we learned is that you need to output higher conqueror's haki than the person you are fighting in order to beat them, or even just stop the regeneration or whatever. We also learned that from Scopper Gaban as well. You need to be outputting higher conqueror's haki than the person you are fighting. So when we go back and we look at some of these characters, right? Maybe a Kizaru or a Kuzan or whoever. Even though we love them, we say, they're hype, they're cool. We look at their devil fruits and all that stuff. There's literally no wiggle room for us to say they can output a higher level of conquerors against their I wouldn't even say their counterparts, but kind of their teammates in the world government. When you're looking at Saint Jupiter, Saint Marcus Mars, even the top of the Holy Knights and maybe Shamrock. These characters on screen are even just by statements or by what they're showing are outputting crazier levels of Conqueror's Haki. Like, it's literally not even debatable at this stage in the game. It's not even debatable at this stage in the game. But a lot of people want me to move the Gorosei down to bring the admirals up. And I'm like, if an admiral does not output higher Conqueror's Haki than a Gorosei member, how can you put an admiral over a Gorosei member? You literally cannot win. You can't win. They will regenerate. So that's why, for me, a lot of people are disagreeing with me on this, saying the Gorosei are fodder. And the reality is that's not the case. Luffy performed better versus the Gorosei than Kizaru. I talked about this, even what was going on Egghead. But the Gorosei could not destroy the lab. The Gorosei literally could not destroy the lab. There was stuff in there for Imu that they had to preserve. Regen merchants, I'm cool with you saying that they are regen merchants, right? If you guys want to say they're regen merchants, that's fine. But what we do know is that there is a way to stop the regeneration. And that's by outputting higher Conqueror's Haki than the Gorosei. Who has that? Who has that right now? Let's keep it a buck. Who has higher Conqueror's Haki than the 5 Gorosei right now? And y'all better not say it's an admiral. Y'all better not say it's an admiral. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. Right now, if you want to say they're regen merchants, that's fine. Majin Buu and DBZ was taking stupid hits too because he knew he could regenerate. He knew he could regenerate. The same thing, it's crazy. The same thing happened with Saint Summers in Elbaf. I'm not even lying. Saint Summers in Elbaf, or was it God Valley? It was either Elbaf or God Valley, but Saint Summers got hit and was like, wait a minute. Why am I taking so? I think it was Elbaf. Yes. Saint Summers was like, wait, why am I not regenerating? What's going on? What's different with this hit than the other ones? Like, what's going on? These characters act crazy because they know they can regenerate. The moment you show them that you have a Haki that can stop the regeneration is the moment where they lock in because they know now you can counter the regen. What I'm saying about the Gorosei is that their Conqueror's Haki is so high that they don't care if Kuma hits me. I'm regenerating. Like, Bonnie can punch me. Zoro can clash my weapon. I'm regenerating. Marcus Mars literally wanted to blow the lab up. When they were looking for the transponder snail, right? They were looking for the transponder snail. He wanted to blow the lab up. He's like, yo, I'm done with this. What, all this searching and being, holding back. Man, let's just blow it up. And they were like, no, don't do that. Because Imu wants to preserve the lab. The Vegapunk has the Mother Flame and all this. We can't do this. When I see stuff like that, when I see scenes like that in One Piece, I take those things as Oda telling us that, hey, this isn't their full power. This isn't the full extent of the Gorosei. Other people read that and say, well, Kuma punched Saturn, so get Saturn past Kuma. I don't see One Piece that way. For me, I don't see One Piece that way. The Holy Knights have done irreparable damage to the Gorosei reputation. Some. Not all. Some, not all. I think Shamrock is gonna blow our minds. If what he says is true, if Shamrock can easily defeat Loki, he's going to blow our minds. 100%. Now, I think the admirals can contend with some of the holy knights, which is why you didn't see me put, Killingham didn't make it over Kizaru or Kuzan or anything like that, right? Because I think they may have the haki that can defeat like a Killingham or something. But when you start going to the top of the holy knights like Shamrock, or you start going to the Gorosei, I stop there. Because the only Conqueror's haki on Egghead that was able to stop the Gorosei was Joy Boys. Why do y'all have admirals over the Gorosei if you know that the only Conqueror's haki that stopped them was Joy Boys? This is kind of what frustrates me, because people are saying, oh, you're stupid, you're a terrible power scaler. And I'm asking questions that I'm not getting answers to. You feel me? So that's where I'm like, yeah, I can't, I can't win. There's no way. The Holy Knights are Jinbei level at best. Which Holy Knight can Jinbei beat? Rob is cooking. The Gorosei would sacrifice an admiral in a heartbeat. Literally. In a heartbeat. Y'all let the Kuma punch trick you guys, man. You guys let the Kuma punch trick you guys. Rob is not cooking. If I'm not cooking, tell me the Holy Knight that Jinbei can stop the regen on. Samaj said Jinbei lost to Gunko. Come on, guys. Samaj. This is what I'm talking about, though. But they call me crazy. But they call me crazy. He lost to Gunko. All right, is he saying, I know, but I feel like the Gorosei haven't really lived up to their hype, as Luffy literally 1v5 them at one point, and I don't see them 1v4 in the Admirals. So, this is more so what I was saying, and that's why I brought up the Saint Summers scenario, is that the Gorosei, Saint Summers is the perfect answer to all of this. Because Saint Summers was a character that literally knew he could regenerate, and because he knew he could regenerate, he wasn't going crazy to defend himself, because he's like, oh, I'll just regenerate, right? The Gorosei have also shown they've also done this on Egghead. 100%. They've also done this on Egghead because they knew nobody there had the ability to stop them. I ask you guys, and this is a legitimate question. This is outside of One Piece now. This is just life in general, right? If you go into a fight, would you say? Okay, Straw Hats need a power up? Absolutely. But if you go into a fight where you know your opponent cannot stop you, are you going all out to defend yourself? Are you going all out to defend yourself if you know your opponent cannot stop you? Pentagon, thank you. Said no. You're not. The reality is you're not. You're not going all out to defend yourself because you know you cannot be stopped. That's why the Gorosei were moving the way they were moving. Who's going to stop me while I'm here? The Giants can't stop me. Luffy can't stop me. If Kizaru wants to be a traitor, who is Kizaru beating? He's not beating any of them. Nobody on there is stopping him. No, literally no. Vegapunk can't do it. Nobody on Egghead is stopping me if I'm a Gorosei member. Nobody is stopping me if I'm an elder. So that's why they moved the way they moved. It wasn't until Joy Boy's haki popped out where the Gorosei were like, oh. That's when the Gorosei were really shocked. Nothing else shocked any of them. Nobody shocked any of them. Yeah, they took damage. Who's gonna stop them? And that's why I rate the Gorosei so highly. I rate them so highly because you need to output a Conqueror's haki that is stronger than theirs. And when I look at the list of characters alive in the One Piece world today, the list of characters that can stop the Gorosei by outputting a higher level of Conqueror's haki than them is small. Not even small. It's minuscule. It's literally like this. It's like this. But again, a lot of people have a lot of favorite characters. So because y'all have favorite characters and y'all love admirals or whatever, y'all are like, hell nah. Kuma punch Saturn. You think Kizaru would let Kuma punch him? There's no way. And I'm like, Kizaru can't stop Saturn's regen. If they're in a 1v1, it would be a battle. Let's say it's a battle of attrition. The one who's going to run out of energy first is Kizaru, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kizaru. It literally is Kizaru. He keeps reading the first statement, but not the person's response to his response. What did I miss, Lucian? What did I miss? What did I miss? All right, so Samaj says Gorosei placement was great, but Kuzan is over people like Old Ray and Zoro. The reason why, and I saw another comment asking about the Zoro thing. The reason why is in this video I stated I believe, and within the next few chapters or so, that we're going to get that haki control that Gohan was talking about with Zoro. That they're going to need that because right now the Holy Knights are going crazy, right? Gunko is powered up with Imu, right? So right now, Luffy and Zoro are virtually ineffective unless they learn this haki control. So I think Gohan is going to teach them the haki control. Now I said this in the video. If that does not happen, then you can swap. But I had them there because Zoro, and this is kind of why I had Zoro a little bit above Sanji too, which is what I said, is that Zoro has access to this haki. Zoro does have great haki. The issue isn't about Zoro's haki. It's about the control of his haki. He has the power already. He has the power already. He just needs to learn the control. That was my only point for Zoro. That was my only point for Zoro. My only point. We haven't seen any haki feats from any admiral. I mean, I'll say Kuzan, and then Kizaru got hit by Luffy's White Star gun, which did have haki on it. So there's some haki feats in there. Fujitora has observation haki. That's confirmed. But if you're talking about Conqueror's haki, Anime Globe, if you're talking about Conqueror's haki, that's where it starts. That's where it's slim pickings. That's where it gets really, really hard. And that's what I'm talking about. Haki not agenda. Oh my goodness. We're not going there. Kizaru was done after that Luffy punch. But, Oh, Kevzy in here? Facts, Rob. I had them at the same place on my list. Yeah, man. Dides, Rob, tell me how people like Kid, Law, Sanji are above Kuzan. He generally watched them. So I don't have Captain Kid. I never said I had Captain Kid. Captain Kid didn't make my list. But my reasoning, and like I said for the Kuzan thing, is that I talked about Sanji as well, where I said the way Oda was hinting that Sanji was going to get conquerors, it may be like Oda doesn't do those things because he's bored. Like when Scopper was talking about, oh, you know, somebody has conquerors haki, and then Sanji's like, oh, wait, are you talking about me? Like, when I see certain things like that, I'm like, oh, okay, like it's time. So what I did was I said, if Sanji does get that conquerors, he's here. If he doesn't, then I would move him out. But I believe narratively that Sanji being the third, you know, in the Straw Hats, basically, I mean, Oda kind of put out something that kind of says that Zoro and Sanji are basically like neck and neck, basically. And because of that, I feel like I have to give Sanji a little bit more grace to say, hey, even if you fight against a Kuzan, who is known to have a ridiculous devil fruit, and he does have haki, Sanji, you also have haki, you also have great observation, as we saw in Wano. Like, he literally was running through Onigashima, like, sensing everything everywhere. But your speed and your recovery options are what make you stand out. When S-Shark punches Sanji to the face and Sanji is looking at him like this, I take those things into consideration. If Sanji gets damaged by Queen and his body is discombobulated and then he just fixes back up like nothing hit him, I take those things into consideration. Because Kuzan, as far as we know, cannot heal himself. So all I'm saying is if Sanji gets access to this haki, I don't think it's crazy to say that Sanji can box with an admiral. That was my reasoning. So is Kuzan not getting stronger too? Is your rebuttal, Rob? So is Kuzan not getting stronger too? I would hope he is. Based on what we've seen, I'm not too sure. I'll say I'm not too sure. Again, if they didn't have to jump Garp, maybe I would have given Kuzan a little bit more hype. But the fact that they had to jump Garp makes me feel like it's like, even if you had emotions behind it, like you had to jump him to beat him, and he's old and outside of his prime, and he had emotions towards you too. So there is a chance that Kuzan is stronger, but he also lost limbs against Akainu too, which means, right? Because if we want to keep it fair, it's the same way as how we look at Captain Kidd or even Shanks, right? If you lose limbs, right, it puts you at a disadvantage unless you pour more into your haki, right? So when you're looking at characters like Captain Kidd, who has conquerors, right? Shanks, who has conquerors, right? They're characters that lost limbs and had to offset it by getting greater haki. All I'm saying is, Kuzan, for me, I don't know what his haki is really looking at max power. I don't know, because his scenario against Garp, that fight against Garp, was not a Kuzan W to me. It wasn't. Now, if you have it that way, we're not going to agree here, right? But I didn't see the Kuzan versus Garp scenario as a Kuzan W. So that's why that's the reason why I have Kuzan where I have him. If I'm answering your question, Rob Reigns, if I'm answering your question, that's why I have him where I have him. So it's not that he didn't get stronger, it's that what he's shown us doesn't look promising to me. Now, there could be a Kuzan upscale maybe in 20 chapters. Let's say like Kuzan's like, you know what, whatever, and he gets a Kuzan upscale or whatever, and then everybody's gonna message me and say, Rob, you were dumb. Look at how powerful Kuzan is. I'll take that and be like, hey, yeah, I missed that one. But I'm saying, based on the Garp Kuzan fight, that did not look like a Kuzan W. Pentagon says, as far as we know, the Seraphim have the most potential in One Piece. If they live up to it, where would you put them? See, and here's the thing. The Seraphim, and we can't go into S-Hawk too much, man, because that's headcanon galore. If you guys hate headcanon, that's real headcanon. But the Seraphim were made to be better versions than the warlords. Point blank period. That was the intention. They were supposed to replace them and be better. That's what they gave them, devil fruits and all these other things. We don't know how they're going to pan out, but if they evolve and live up to what they were intended to be, some of them are going to make the top 30. And more uncomfortable conversations are going to be had. It's the reality. Now, I'm not going to have them high up because, again, the further we go into One Piece, the further Conqueror's Haki is going to separate people. If you notice, my top 30 is filled with Conqueror's Haki users because I value it that much. I had said, Rob, I'm saying, what can the Gorosei do to Fujitora when he sends them to space or the ocean? How is he moving them? You got to remember, Fujitora's ability is a devil fruit ability. Fujitora has not shown us any haki that is stronger than a Gorosei member. As of yet. It could be possible, right? But if your haki is stronger than another person's haki, their devil fruit's not doing anything. What's their devil fruit really doing? FIB said, I had to pull out the manga panels for this, but reading back Fuji versus Akainu, you're right. It's an ideological, It's an ideology clash that won't you agree that it speaks more on Fuji's determination, sense of justice instead of strength? Okay. I think it's a bit of both. It's definitely his sense of justice. But Akainu's also a person that is not going to respect that either. He's not just going to take what you say to him. You know, the only time the only time Akainu literally took somebody talking back to him and took it well was Kizaru, right? Kizaru and Egghead. And that was more a sentimental moment. That was more of an emotional moment where, Akainu actually felt bad. But for Fujitora, it was like, I don't care that you feel bad or you have a different sense of justice. You work for me. And Fujitora was like, hold on, watch your mouth, right? So that's why I'm like, you don't get that off. You don't get that off unless you feel like you can rival somebody. Anime Globe says Sabo is admiral level minimum. People are going to disagree with you, but I don't think you can be weaker and take a hit from a... It's crazy because if Imu did that hit against an admiral and they survived, I would 100% believe it. I would 100% believe it. But if Sabo does it, it's like, that doesn't mean he's admiral. So, I hope this makes sense. I'm glad we're doing this now because, I was thinking about possibly putting out a video responding to comments, but I'm glad we're getting all the reasons out now. I'm just trying to think about how I would get this to people because the stream is labeled as an anime fusion review, and we're doing the top 30 breakdown. Sabo was definitely admiral level. People just don't like it. I'm with you. And I get why people don't like Sabo, but most of people not liking Sabo has to do with his insert into the story as a character. But, discrediting Sabo is where I draw the line. And that's why I will always clash with people on Sabo. Rob, Kizaru literally negged Gear 4 Luffy. Clearly, haki difference doesn't matter that much. Hockey difference does matter. It does matter. Listen, if you're looking at any character in the series right now, any character in the series, if you're trying to compare them to the top tier, because this is what the top 30 list is, right? You're taking the top tiers in One Piece and seeing where they rank amongst each other. These top tier characters cannot even be in the conversation unless like hockey is a prerequisite. It's not an addition. It's not a bonus to have. It's a prerequisite. You do not get to be in the top 30 if you don't have hockey. It straight up is what it is. Now, if you want to talk about, well, Kizaru negged different Gear 4 Luffy, right? He negged Gear 4 Luffy. I'm trying to remember where I saw this. But there is a confirmation that Luffy wasn't using ACOC in Egghead, or Luffy wasn't even going all out in Egghead. That's confirmed. That's confirmed. I forgot where I saw it, and once I find it, hopefully I'll post it somewhere, whether it's like, I don't know, in a Discord or something like that. But it was not confirmed. I mean, it was confirmed, sorry, that he was not going all out in Egghead. That's what I meant to say. So hockey diff does matter. Hockey diff does matter. When was that confirmed? Which chapter? I'm gonna find it. It wasn't a chapter. But I think it was the what we saw in Elbaf. What we saw in Elbaf countered what we believed happened in Egghead. Or in recent chapters. I think that's what it was. It wasn't like implicitly, oh, Luffy didn't go all out. But it was a matter of like people questioning, well, Luffy wasn't using ACOC in Egghead then. Kizaru was easily clashing with old Rayleigh, who Blackbeard was afraid of. Yeah, but Rayleigh also said he couldn't beat that Blackbeard, and which is why I gave Blackbeard the edge, right? Kijan, what's up? I gave Blackbeard the edge, and I said, all right, Blackbeard's gonna be above old Rayleigh for me. But in the same breath, I found out that old Rayleigh has a different level of hockey control. Because Scopper told us that, hey, there's a higher level of hockey that's needed to beat the regen merchants that you guys call the Holy Knights and the Gorosei, the regen merchants. There's a higher level of hockey that's needed to beat these guys. There's a better control of hockey needed to beat these guys. Rayleigh is now confirmed to have access to that hockey. So that's why, for me, I'm like, an old Rayleigh still is formidable. He still is formidable. There isn't a confirmation. It takes critical mass to beat the Gorosei since they all have conquerors. The confirmation literally was, let me go to the panel of Scopper Gaban talking about the hockey. It's literally... yeah, they used to fight them in the past. And it's a hockey control. Who's winning, Akainu or Yamato? I can't find a panel right now. Hold on. Dang, I'm gonna have to look for the panel later. Oh, here we go. Yeah, all right, so this is the first one. Make a mental note of how you use your colors of the Supreme King. They are not immortal. And that was Scopper Gaban slashing Saint Summers. Gaban was talking about the Holy Knights, not the Gorosei, Rob. The regen is the same. The levels of hockey are different, but the regen is the same. Rob, do you have Kizaru over Kaido? Hell no. Kizaru over Kaido? Hell no. I don't. The regen with the Holy Knights and the Gorosei is the same. It's all Imu contracts. The difference comes in where certain characters have higher levels of haki to protect their regen than others. That's the difference. No. Are you saying the Gorosei and the God's Knights have this? No, I'm not saying they have the same level of contracts. What I'm saying is they have differences in their haki, but the ability to regenerate is the same. It's the same ability. It's basically like the rankings are like once you get to a certain level of a contract. I don't remember if it was like the deep sea or one of them, but once you get to a certain level of a contract, you get that regen. It's not like, oh, you get the super regen if you reach here. It's like it's all just regen. It's just regen. The difference is the stronger characters have higher levels of haki. They have higher levels of haki. Yo, Galang, what's good? Thanks for subbing. Thank you so much. Is this a top 30 discussion? Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be, but it ended up happening. Do you have a Kainu over Yamato? I did on my list more for narrative. Yeah. I did on my list more for narrative. I don't know. Emu has crazy regen. I mean, they all do. But the reason why Emu's regen is harder to beat is because Emu has higher haki. It's all haki. It really is all haki. That's all. So you have access to abilities, but what the haki does is the haki protects the use of your abilities. So if you have a crazy ability, but you don't have the haki to defend it, it's virtually beatable by somebody that has stronger haki. That's why when you're looking at, like, it all makes more sense that Kaido was saying haki transcends all, because it really is what it is. Like the stronger your haki is, like the more you could do, really, in the One Piece world. Like the more the more options you have, and the weaker your haki is, it's gonna be tougher. That's why when people were attacking Emu, like let's say when Rox was attacking Emu and slicing Emu just phased through it and said, "Oh, I'm good," shrugged it off. But when Joy Boy's haki knot popped off from how many miles away, hundreds of miles away, Emu was like, Emu felt it, because Joy Boy's haki is higher than Rox. That's the reality. Rob, do you think Emu has a devil fruit? Emu's pulling some crazy stuff. I don't know if it's a devil fruit ability or if I shouldn't even say he, because we don't know even the gender. We don't know if Emu has a devil fruit ability or if Emu is just a devil. Like, we don't know anything. We don't know anything right now. I feel like I saw somebody say Yamato somewhere. Rob, I have to press you for the Loki take. He still has too much going for him. Solution, Lucian, let me ask you something. Where would you place Shamrock on your top 30? Because this will tell me everything. Where would you place Shamrock on your top 30? Or if you don't even think he makes it at all, then that's another conversation. All right, Solution, you said maybe top 5. So you have, and this is me asking, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm genuinely asking. So you have the leader of the Holy Knights higher than the Gorosei. Genuinely asking. Yeah, I want to see your top 30 too. Top 30 alive, y'all. It was top 30 alive. Lucian said, but Shamrock didn't say he's stronger than Loki. He said he could beat Loki right now. Straight up. Oh, Kezi, so you got him right by Shanks. See, for me, I'm like, he could be right there, but then he also couldn't be right there. Because the Gorosei, I don't think it makes sense for me to say that the Holy Knights, there's Holy Knights that can beat Gorosei members. I feel like if that really were the case, Imu would literally clap the Gorosei member that is weaker than a Holy Knight and just promote the Holy Knight. Why would Imu have a weaker 5 elders? You know what I'm saying? Damn, that's a good point, Rob. I think people give Shamrock more glaze since he's related to Shanks. Yeah, and I get that. Yeah, because he's related to Shanks. It's just like if he were stronger than the Gorosei members, he would just be a Gorosei member. Like, Imu would not pick a weaker member to be in the 5 elders. It does not benefit Imu at all. It literally does not benefit Imu at all. Gorosei are higher status because of their age, not combat ability. I disagree. I think it's both. I think you both need experience, but you also need power. I think you both need experience and power. Gorosei are literally upgrades of Holy Knights. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. This also means that I think that Shamrock is powerful, but I just don't think I can put Shamrock over the Gorosei right now. So, and because Shamrock said that he can beat up Loki, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt for now. That's the only reason why a lot of people don't like my Loki placement. But you never know. Yeah, just because they're brothers don't mean anything. I mean, facts. I didn't have Sabo right under I didn't have Sabo right under Luffy. I didn't. Yeah, same potential doesn't mean they're the same level. Yeah, that's where I am. I think Shamrock is powerful, but I don't think it's confirmed that he's right next to Shanks. There's a chance. We just don't know. But what we do know is that, I mean, the only character that was stated to be right next to Shanks is Ben Beckman. Straight up. But a lot of people don't have Ben Beckman on their list. All right, so you have Imu, Kaido at 2, okay. Mihawk at 3, Shanks at 4, Dragon at 5. Interesting. Akainu at 6, Blackbeard at 7, Kuzan at 8, Luffy at 9, Loki at 10, Shamrock at 11. Okay, so the Shamrock quote doesn't mean anything to you, which is fair. Big Mom next, at 12, I believe, right? Kizaru 13, Garp 14, Shamrock. Oh wait, it looks like you have Shamrock here twice. I had, then the 4 Gorosei. So you're only using. Which ones are you using? Who'd you take out? Because Garling's added now. Unless you meant to say 5, then that's fine. Then Sengoku, Fuji, Green Bull, Rayleigh, Gaban, Zoro, Yamato, Ben Beckman, Law, Kid, Zoro, Sanji. All right, so you have Zoro here twice. But, yeah. So, I mean, it's not like we have major... I mean, we do have some major differences. But I think it's more so like you have the Gorosei much lower than I have them. And that's kind of where our list are like, that's the biggest standout to your list than my list. Because even like we have Akainu, then Blackbeard, yeah. But then you have Luffy under Blackbeard, which I'm not there. And I think Loki can box the Blackbeard right now too. I think Loki can beat Blackbeard right now too. So I would put Luffy and Loki above Blackbeard. And Akainu, I do have him there. I'll put Dragon higher. But you have Kaido top 2. Okay. I'm gonna say this. If Kaido was the second strongest in the One Piece world, then there's no other heights to reach. Like, everybody's already maxed out, in my opinion. Because I think there are characters right now outside that could be... I mean, Workery even showed us better defense than Kaido. See, people saying Kaido at 2 is crazy. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's top 30 is going to be crazy because there's certain characters that are kind of cemented. And then there's like, I want to say like 15 characters where it's just all speculation. There's no confirmation. It's just all speculation. And you never, there's no way. There's no way to win. So, yeah. Yo, Rob, Yasop or Lucky Roo, who do you think is stronger? I think there was a statement that said Lucky Roo is one of the fastest characters, but I don't remember if I saw that official. I don't remember if that was official or if that was a meme. I don't remember. It's been such a long time since I've looked into Lucky Roo. I would hope it would be Yasop based on his fight against not even fight really, but he blew up Bartolomeo's ship. But if Lucky Roo really has that crazy speed, it could be Lucky Roo. That is a fake statement. Okay, thank you, King AP. Okay. Oh wait. So King AP is saying that's a fake statement. Joshi is saying it is official. He has the fastest quick draw. Okay. I don't know. I saw something somewhere. It was years ago though. Like, it's been a while. Wait, you would put Lucky Roo over Ben Beckman? Oh, you're saying Beckman, Roo, then Yasop. Oh, okay, my fault. Okay, so because he was stated, yeah, that's I could see that. I could see that. Most times when you see crews stating their crewmates, it's not always, but sometimes they'll put them in strength order. Rob, who do you have as your top? Was it Rob? Who do you have as your top marksman / sniper? I would probably say. I mean, Ben Beckman has a gun. I don't know if that makes him a sniper though. So I would probably have. Yasop. But like, unless we're considering that, unless we're throwing, if we're throwing Ben Beckman in like the gun mix, then I would say Ben Beckman. Because he said it's not a statement, Rob. Clarity is IRL Lucky Roo could shoot faster than his shadow, so people think he's super fast in general. Oh, okay. Zeke, what's good, bro? What's good? Samaj, you said you gave your rebuttal to Luffy not using ACOC. Dang, I'm gonna have to scroll up. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. The Gorosei have conquerors haki, though, which takes critical mass to defeat. Is that a confirmation? Thanks for the 2. I meant Garling next to the Gorosei, Zoro below Kid. Okay, Garling next to the Gorosei. Oh, above. Oh, so when you put Shamrock, okay, I get it. You put Garling. Garling is your standout of the Gorosei. Got it. Okay. Wait, but what happened with the fan-made Fusion Zone? So we actually reviewed them already. Might as well change the live name to One Piece discussion or something. I did not expect it to. I did not expect this to happen, but obviously I put out a very, very controversial video today. So I might add that to the title. Plus One Piece top 30 discussion, if people want to see that. Mihawk is Imu's right hand. I mean, he's Buggy's right hand. If you want to be honest. All right, Lucian. So you're saying that the Celestial Dragons think they're gods. So Shamrock thinking that he can 2v1 him with Gonko doesn't say much. Perhaps, but let me go back to that panel just to, because I don't want to misquote, bro. So Loki's saying he can't only be so yeah, Loki was chained up and he's saying like he's only, they're only doing this, they're only damaging him because he can't move from the spot. And then Shamrock basically said the result would be the same even if you could. Now, I wasn't reading that as a 2v1, but yeah, our King AP, yeah. You said, yeah, Shamrock said it wouldn't make a difference whether Loki was enchained or not, yeah. Which I said, I believe I said that in the video. I just wanted to quote him exactly. This was while Gonko was beating him up. So, I mean, it could be seen as a 2v1, but I think, Shamrock was using Cerberus at one point, right? Wasn't that after you used the Cerberus? Or whatever, but I mean, I could, Lucian, I'll give you that. I could see that, how that could be interpreted as a 2v1. But me seeing Shamrock say that was, I did not see that as a 2v1. I saw it more as Shamrock saying, I could take you right now, even if you can move, like, I could beat you. I didn't see it as like, we're going to jump you together. It took critical mass to defeat a regen conqueror user shown by Domi Rocks. So yes, that is true. It took critical mass to defeat Rocks, but Rocks was one of the best hockey users in the history of One Piece. Remember, Rocks' target was Imu. A lot of people forget that. He wasn't worried about... He literally killed an admiral. He wasn't even worried about the admirals or none of that. He was worried about Imu, the top one. So his hockey was already ridiculous. When they said when Rocks used to swing his sword, it was like there were explosions. Like it was like bombs when he used to swing his sword. So critical mass was needed to be the Domi reversion of that Rocks. Critical mass was needed to be a Domi Reversi version of that rocks, right? But if it's just for a Gorosei member, I don't know if I don't feel confident in saying that there's a Gorosei member that showed me better hockey than Domi rocks. I don't feel confident in saying that. I could be wrong, but I don't feel confident in saying that. Rocks is a Mihawk upscale. I totally disagree with that. But for the Mihawk fans, if you go strictly off of the fact that he wields a sword, then yeah. But I think Rocks would beat Mihawk. I'll leave it at that. Rocks claps Roger. If I speak. Shanks is dog walking Mihawk. Yeah. But if you're in this I don't even know what I'll do with the stream actually. I might cuz y'all turn this into a top 30 a top 30 discussion. Oh my goodness. Mihawk is the greatest feet leech of all time. Factual. I think what I'm gonna have to do is I might have to take the section where we did the fusion review and separate that from this top 30 response type stuff, because this turned into a gender piece quick. It really, really did. But I want to at least make sure that the people that were commenting on the original video, because I try to read and respond to as many comments as possible, even if somebody just like, Rob, you suck, I hate you, like I still try to respond to them. But I want them to also see what's being said here too, because a lot of the questions or a lot of the comments that I'm gonna get from that video are coming in the stream as we speak, or have already been covered in the stream. So I don't know. I might put out like a separate video of all this stuff, or I don't know what I'll do yet. I don't know what I'll do. I'll think about it. But yeah. Or if you're in this stream right now and you commented on the video, and I answered your question or something, like maybe if there's some other comments in there, you could say, all right, just refer to Rob's stream, like he talked about it. You don't have to give him a timestamp or anything, but I don't know. I'll figure that out. But I'm just thinking for the immediate future right now, because there's a lot going on. Rob, do you have a list of people you think are capable of doing critical mass other than Roger and Garp? I want to say narrative-wise, headcanon-wise, Dragon and Shanks are people that I think can do something like that right now. But we don't really know. Yeah, Michael Rich. Yeah, listen, man, I absolutely always, like I said, I'm always open for discussion, man. I never made a video, and there's not one video on this channel, or you can't find me on somebody else's channel where I made opinions for people to agree with me. I state how I feel, and then sometimes it works out. Sometimes everybody's like, yo, Rob, you're cooking. And I'm like, hey, this is a good day. And then sometimes it's like, Rob, you're letting me down. I can't believe you said this. But I take time to think about what I'm saying for sure. So like, I will always have a reason behind my thought process, even if you disagree with it. And that's where the fun in anime debates is for me, is the reasoning behind stuff. Not just, I think this character's stronger because, I'm bored, but why? Thank you for the 2. Thank you so much for the 2. Not gonna lie, it might be my fault for it becoming about top 30. Listen, no problem. No problem. Because I wanted to make something to address the backlash too. But basically, this stream is that. So there's no problem in that at all. There's no problem. Damn, ran out of water. Yeah, my bad, Patty. My fault. It turned into a One Piece stream. Do you think Roger and Garp ever got to Rox and Harold's level? I covered this kind of in the Gauntlet video that I did recently. I am a person that when I saw Rox, right? And by Rox's level, if you mean that he can hang with Rox in a 1v1, I do. I think Roger would hang with Rox in a 1v1. Now, where I kind of hitch and hesitate is where people say Roger would beat Rox in a 1v1. And the reason why is, even though it was Domi reversed Rox, or Emu amped Rox, however you want to say it, the fact that Roger and Garp both using critical mass, Supreme King Haki, that means they put all of they use their most powerful Conqueror's Haki and put it all into one attack. And that critical mass attack couldn't even kill Rox. Rox asked them. He practically begged Roger and Garp to kill him, and they still couldn't kill him. Says to me that, yes, some of it is a credit to the Emu amp, and the other is the fact that Rox's Haki was really just that ridiculous. And the reason why I believe this is because Rox was going after Emu. His goal was Emu. We saw Rox literally in the flower room tell Emu, all right, not right now, but I'll be back here. You'll see me again, right? And the situation at God Valley was not something that Rox was expecting. You know, Emu popped up and Rox is like, all right, you're here. I'm not ready for you yet, but let's go. You know, Rox wasn't ready for Emu at that time, but he was planning to fight Emu again. That's the reason why I have Rox in just like a crazier tier. It's just that, like, in order to think that you can fight Emu, you have to think that you could obtain a level of Haki comparable to Joy Boys. That's the reality. If you want to box Emu, you have to reach Joy Boy level Haki or Davy Jones level Haki, right? I'm assuming Davy Jones is relative to Joy Boy, whatever. And that's why I feel like, as powerful as Roger is and was, I don't know if he had that battery in his back to try to achieve what Joy Boy achieved, essentially. You know, Rox had a reason to achieve that. So that's why I give Rox the slight edge over Roger, if that makes sense. Do I think Katakuri will ever be relevant again? I think he will pop up. If Oda doesn't kill a character, there's a good chance they'll be used again. But I don't think we'll see Katakuri again until maybe the final war. Or if Big Mom is still alive, then I think Elbaf right now would be a perfect moment for Big Mom to show up. I don't know if she will, but that would be a perfect moment for her to show up. Rox might be able to beat Ryuma. Zeke, you're crossing some dangerous waters right now. I don't even want to comment on that because I already know. I already know he's gonna be toxic. But let's just say I'm not mad at you saying that. That's all. I'll say that. Yeah. Pentagon. So your top three of all time is Joy Boy, Davy Jones, and then Emu. Mm-hmm. You don't think Davy Jones is stronger than Emu, but he had a major impact big enough to defeat Emu's goals. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know if I think, because Joy Boy lost, right? But obviously it was like how many nations? It was 19 nations against like Joy Boy and his crew. So we don't know exactly if it was like just like a 1v1 type scenario between Joy Boy and Emu, or if they jumped to Joy Boy. Like, we don't know exactly how it went down, but I do think Emu is stronger than Joy Boy. until proven otherwise. But Joy Boy is the character that we know had the power to rival Imu. This is what, when Oda says you have the power to rival somebody, Joy Boy versus Imu is like the perfect example of that. Like, Joy Boy can rival Imu. Doesn't mean he'll win, but... Alright, Burnings is saying, I don't understand Ryuma's glaze. We don't know anything, and he just sliced the dragon. I think we will never see Ryuma again. Yeah, Burnix, to respond to this, I think it ties into the same thing as the Mihawk glaze, right? It's the black blade. Nobody else was ever to produce a black blade like this, except for Mihawk. So yeah, if you're a Mihawk stan, you kind of have to put Ryuma up in the sky, or it's just, there's gonna be more inconsistencies essentially. Davy D. Jones, we need to see more. I would love to see him. I would love to see more. I don't know what's gonna happen, and he's gonna throw another wrench in the plans too. If Davy Jones pops out, like, that's gonna be a whole other conversation. I already know, and that's kind of what happened with this Loki Harold situation, right? Everybody kind of had like somewhat similar top 30s, and then when we're learning and then after the God Valley flashback and Loki and Harold, we're learning. Hold on, let me mute this for 2 seconds. And we end up learning more now that there's levels of hockey that are different. There's different levels of hockey control, and it just changes everything now, because Loki could be anywhere. Loki and Harold really messed the scale up, and Rocks, they really messed the scale up, honestly. If Buggy awakens, his fruit is over for Imu. Yo, flip flop, man. Listen, I want there to be a Buggy upscale, but defeating Imu, let baby steps. Baby steps. Please. Please. Please, baby steps. Smaj saying, Regen Conqueror user needs critical mass to be defeated, in my opinion. Hence why Luffy didn't defeat the Gorosei. Yeah, but critical mass, that was the Conquerors, though. Yeah. Yeah, so... I mean, but critical mass, it was kind of just like, this was our full-powered hockey, all put out in one attack. But the bottom line is, you need a hockey that can surpass your opponents. If your opponent has a level of 95 hockey, and you hit them with an attack that is 95 or below, they're regenerating. If you hit them with a 96, they'll be damaged. That's where the distinction is. And I think that's what people have to understand. Mihawk couldn't even beat Vista. Oh, brother. Shanks doesn't have a right-hand man because he has no right hand. That's low. King AP, that's low. Shout out Ben Beckman, man. Pentagon said, Rob, do you have anyone in the present timeline that are capable of surviving an ancient weapon other than those ridiculous immortals? When you say survive, I think like my top 5 that I have in my video is well, obviously Emu has the regen, so we'll get him out of there. But the dragons, the Shanks, possibly Mihawk, possibly. Well, Warcree would also be a regen merchant, so there's that. Characters like that. So Dragon Shanks, Mihawk. I think they can. I mean, the Sabo agenda would say Sabo technically did, but he wasn't there. We already know he wasn't there. So. Wabo can survive Goku. He's an escape artist. Yo. Sabo really is an escape artist. Man ran into the Holy Land and all this. Then dodge Leloucia. I really hope Dragon is strong, though, although he really doesn't give off powerful vibes. I think Dragon, and that's why I give him so much grace, is because I feel like for the narrative and just the storyline of the Revolutionary Army, if Dragon is weak, I think the Revolutionary Army is essentially cooked as they stand, right? They have no ability to topple any type of world government or anything if their leader cannot even output any power to contend with any top tiers in the world government. They're literally, they are essentially cooked. And I feel like narratively that doesn't make sense. Ain't no way Sabo became admiral level, if not more, from a weak leader. Yeah, it literally just doesn't make sense. Like, I know people get on Dragon and they hate Dragon, but I think God Valley is the perfect indication. The fact that Dragon decided to tranquilize a celestial dragon tells me everything I need to know. That means, yo, for the goodness of the world and the people, I will stop at nothing. I'll throw away all my... Literally, Dragon threw away his relationship with Luffy. When I read One Piece and I watch One Piece, I think about these things. A man that was so gung-ho about saving the world that he sacrificed the relationship with his kid. You think a man that is so pushed to that level is gonna come outside and be like, dang, I can't beat Kuzan? Think about, like, you guys have to think about certain things a little deeper, you know? So that's why I feel like Dragon, and it's a big reason why Oda's been saving Dragon for this long. But I think when Dragon pops out, like, it's gonna be like, whoa. Why don't I make One Piece theory videos? I don't know. I feel like, well, one thing I'll say is I feel like there are so many better theory crafters out there. And I also think that people don't really want to watch my theories. I don't even know what people want to watch, but I just put out videos of, like, sometimes I feel like playing a game, or I play games with people, and then sometimes I just want to do, talk to you guys like this. So I have no idea. I don't know what people want. Theory videos? I don't even know. But your game content is fire. Thank you so much. Thank you. Would I do a talk stream like this with Hunter x Hunter? Yeah, I gotta catch up though. I have to catch up on the manga. Yes, we want theory videos. I might have a couple. Dragon got to be top 3, top 5 in the verse. Yeah, I think otherwise it wouldn't make sense. Exactly. I think there would be no point. Like, Oda should just write the Revolutionary Army out of the story if Dragon's not strong. Like, it really would make no sense for him to be weak. They couldn't operate. They couldn't operate because, again, just like Rocks, Dragon is challenging the higher ups in the world government. He's challenging the Holy Knights. which is going to turn into the Gorosei and Imu. Like he literally has to be powerful. 5 from iHat. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Sabo has the worst observation haki. Bro didn't notice Burgess' big body and got their base destroyed. Got Leloucia destroyed because he couldn't wait. This is wild Sabo slander. But I get it. Wild Sabo slander, but I get it. Hey, one thing I'll say to you, iHat, is the Gorosei and Imu didn't notice that Sabo was in the room. If we're gonna slander him one way, we gotta boost him the other way. They didn't notice he was in the room. That's a hockey feat. That is indeed a hockey feat. Pentagon, we still need that One Piece conquest. Oh yeah, that's coming. I haven't recorded that yet, but that's gonna be a wild video. That's gonna be so much fun. That's gonna be so much fun. Zeke, Sabo needs to die in the show. I hate him. Oh my goodness. Why is there so much Sabo hate, man? I don't get it, man. I said so. They're trash too. Yo, oh man. Joshi said, Rob, low-key, what do you think Dragon's bounty is? He's known as the most dangerous criminal in the world. Do you think he has more than Roger? Do I think he has more than Roger? If he's the one character where bounty has more to do with his I think the bounty will represent his power more than others, because if Imu doesn't see you as a threat, your bounty is not going to reflect anything that's, top tier. So I think it would be safe to say it's around that Roger level. Like, whether it's a little higher or a little lower, like, you can pick. But it would be safe to say it's around that Roger level, because, again, he's targeting them. He's literally saying, Marines, admirals, move to the side. I do not care about you. I'm looking at Imu. I'm looking at the Gorosei. I'm looking at the Holy Knights. You guys are the ones that I need to fight. Kuzan, Kizaru, Kainu, Fujitora, Ryukugyu, move to the side. I'm not worried about y'all. I'm worried about them. And to me, I'm like, somebody who was a former Marine, this means there's something deeper. This means there's a higher level. That's how I read that. Casual, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Roger doesn't necessarily oppose the world government and has the highest confirmed bounty. Dragon got to be higher. It probably is. It probably is. That is because Rox knew more stuff. Roger probably didn't know about Emu's existence before God Valley. Fair. That's fair, but Roger's what do I want to say? Roger's bounty was assigned to him, at least the bounty that we know of Roger, that was given to him after God Valley. So Emu knew that Roger knew he was there, basically. But let's see. I think I'm gonna end stream here, just because it's turned into a One Piece discussion, and yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to put this all together, but because we're coming up on 4 hours now. Rox was holding back. No, Fujitora was holding back. Am I going to bring back viewer draft battles? I definitely want to. I just got to figure out a time that works for everybody. If you are here, and you are in the Discord, first of all, join the Discord for sure. But if you are in the Discord, AIM, my guy AIM Power is doing an event tonight, so definitely pull up. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. I know it turned to a One Piece discussion, but Thank you.